Yeah.
We in the building. Callie World, the queen, she in the building early, first.
Numero uno.
Numero uno. My brother, RC, he in the building.
Yeah, RC.
What's good? What's good? Yep, we in the building. We in the building. We got a lot to talk about today, my peopleizations. We're going to get into this. We're going to build tonight. All of these fighters, it's funny, right, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I said this in a video, and I know some people got offended. They in my inbox.
That's how it works.
And I said, these fighters are lazy. That's the difference between Jake Paul and everybody else. They're lazy.
That's it.
They're lazy.
And it's an exposing, and it's an exposing that's happening with a Jake Paul. There's an exposing on what could be done in comparison to what's being done.
Exactly.
And
here's the thing. And people said, "Man, how dare you?" People said that it's privilege. He's privileged, so on and so forth. And I have to disagree.
Right.
Because especially the top name fighters, Tank Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
Terrence Crawford, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Errol Spence. Who else could you name, Clay, at the top like that?
I mean, I want to put David Benavidez in there at some point. Maybe he's not there yet. I can't. That's that blows me away. But you can also look at
Inoue, right?
I mean, you talking about in the U.S. I was gonna say anyway because I was gonna go outside the U.S. and go to the Anthony Joshuas and the Tyson Furies and the
I'm just saying boxing overall in its totality.
Right. Definitely.
Because Jake Paul is being labeled a non-boxer. And the thing is, they all have the same abilities and opportunities that Jake Paul has, and they choose to be lazy and operate to where they're waiting for everybody else to do something for them. He built a team around him, Clay. A beautiful team he built around him. That this team went out. He has MVP promotions. Right. He don't have it as what would be the word, Clay? Just for show. Flagship, right? Is that the word?
Like a what they call like a racket. Like it's not real. Like it's just there to what I mean. It's operating in its capacity as a promotional company. Right. It's really doing it. Right. Like some other people who have promotional companies who really don't operate in that capacity. They're just their names only.
Yes, he came from a different walk in life. And here's the issue that I have. Yes, he made a lot of money being a YouTuber. He made a lot of money on Nickelodeon or whatever he was on. Tunes or whatever, right? But when he came into the sport of boxing, Clay, he's actually putting that money in the sport of boxing.
100%.
Clay, he had a matchroom fighter, a PBC fighter, and a top-ranked fighter, all on his card.
Yeah. Well, this is
everybody else do that.
This is attacking, the Turkey Al-Sheikh and now Jake Paul. They're attacking this idea. There's a conditioning in the boxing space right now that believes that these lines, these invisible lines, are legitimate and that this is the way boxing goes. And they're not acknowledging, like, no, this is the way today's era of boxing promoter promotes. This is what they choose to do. This is not how it goes. So Turkey and Jake are coming in, letting it be known that they ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care about these lines. That ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. I'm here to put fights together, man. I'm paying fighters. I'm putting them on big platforms. I'm guaranteeing them a lot of viewership. I'm upping their market values, giving the opportunity to showcase their talent in front of the largest amounts of people. That's the business of promotion that I'm in. I'm not into this protecting and these lines in the sand and, your fighter better come over to my promotion if he wants to get a fight. And if he wants to become a champion, he needs to leave this person and come over with this person. That's not what it is. Negotiations are being made across the board with fighters every day. You know what I mean? Fighters are negotiating across the board and putting themselves in position to get the most opportunity to fight the best. It used to be like that. Now today, there's this idea that, you know, we're supposed to empathize with this invisible line, with this across the street narrative that's being pushed out there. Like, we're supposed to empathize and understand that. And Jake Paul and, you know, obviously Turkey Al-Sheikh are showing that that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. And we're going to have to show you better than we can tell you. People who are push back at it because of the threat they feel like it provides them, right? Blue, like it provides them a threat, like, oh man, we don't want nothing to change because our promotional company who we're loyal to what's going to happen to them. But they're not thinking about boxing when they're thinking like that.
Right.
And we ain't never get no fights we want thinking like that either.
Right. And that's the thing, right? We got a brother, and we're gonna get to the roll call in 1 second. Lucci Two Braids, he said, I hate Jake Paul and what he's doing to the sport of boxing. What is he doing to the sport of boxing?
Right.
He's done something in the sport of boxing that's never been done. He's actually elevated the sport of boxing. We was talking about Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor for quite some time. We never had a woman fighter make $1 million. We never had a woman fighter headline at Madison Square Garden. They were dragging their feet on making Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Jake Paul comes in and knocks all those barriers down.
Mm-hmm.
They headlined at Madison Square Garden, the first women to do so,
right.
And they sold it out. They both made $1 million. And not only did we see the fight, but we saw it twice.
Right.
The first time was on their own.
Right.
The second time was on his undercard.
Right.
So we can't say that he's taken away from them because he actually did it with them on their own.
100%.
So he broke the barrier. So how could he be hurting the sport of boxing? Make this make sense. Mario Barrios is the WBC welterweight champion. There was nothing happening. Matchroom offered him $2 million to fight unification against Boots in Philly.
Mm.
Jake Paul gave him $3 million to defend his title against Abel Ramos.
Right.
He fought a less profile fight, a less dangerous fight. It turned out to be absolutely dangerous, but that's boxing, right, Clay? But he fought a quote unquote less dangerous fight, less high profile fight, and made more money doing it. How can he be bad for boxing? He took Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington from Top Rank, kept him active, put him on his card.
Yeah.
If he didn't put Bruce Shoo Shoo on there, he probably wouldn't have fought for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh, he wouldn't have. Yeah. I mean, what else what card was he going to get on? He would have been seeing him in the first quarter next year. But also, like today, we had the David Benavidez, David Morrell press conference, right? I think there was like the most people I saw in there on the YouTube channel, on PBC's channel was like 6,000.
Right.
Like 6,000 people, you know, watching live. Bro, if I believe Jake Paul had like 380 something thousand, you know what I'm saying, at one point, or like 100, no, it was 385,000 for the
200,000. Just
right,
for the weigh-in alone was 200,000.
Right. So it just shows you how in the world is boxing not benefiting from being in front of that many people seeing it. Everybody wants to focus on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I don't know what to tell you guys, right? Like, I cheered on Mike Tyson. That's what I'm gonna do, man. That's Brooklyn's own. That's Iron Mike. I'm gonna cheer him on, but I'm not delusional as to what I was expecting. I knew not to expect. Nobody was watching that exhibition 2-minute 8-round fight with any real ideas of Mike Tyson doing anything in that fight. That was literally just a bag grab and a marketing strategy in order to bring light to the first event that Netflix was putting on with boxing, right? And it worked, obviously, right? I mean, crashed Netflix, crashed the website, you know what I'm saying? 65 plus million people, you know what I mean? 65 plus million different homes hitting just for that fight, 50 plus million 50 million plus homes hitting for the Amanda Serrano and the Katie Taylor fight. And the whole undercard was competitive boxing. So how is a whole event
even
a joke because of an 8-minute 2-minute per round exhibition fight.
Right. It turned out to be 16 minutes, right? But Clay, like you said, even that the two guys that we didn't know, right? That was entertaining. It was competitive.
Yeah,
They weren't. Remember the two guys?
Yeah, and those guys brought followers north of, on however many millions that Nunes dude had, like X amount of million, like 60. I think he had like I don't want to say the wrong number, but I'm feeling like it was like up in the 60s or 40 million followers. You know what I mean? And then here's another thing that the event did. The event opened the doors to a lot of content creators. A lot of YouTube content creators out in the space had an opportunity to be inside the event, acknowledged, given access to a whole lot of stuff. It just really rolled out a new era in boxing, right? A new era, and not the fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but the platform, the ability to market boxing to a way huge an audience, still pay out decent money. Netflix makes their money off of their subscribers and et cetera, however that works out. This is just a whole new business model, a whole new opportunity for boxing that is on the back end of Top Rank, getting ready to separate from ESPN, right? You got PBC and Amazon's relationship complicated, to say the least, based on the year that they've had together. Boxing needs something. And like Donald Trump said before, what do you have to lose? You know what I'm saying? At this point, what do you have to lose to entertain something that big? Close your eyes, remove Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and start sticking in the fighters you want to see fight each other on a platform like that, and tell me that's not a great thing for boxing.
Right. It's great for boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? Did I love the whole Mike Tyson situation with Jake Paul? No. Right? Mike Tyson is a legend. But again, Mike Tyson is a grown man and he's healthy mentally. Right? As far as making decisions, having a conversation, he's not out of it.
Right. This whole victim thing, the whole they're taking advantage of Mike Tyson thing is like, what? That man is not being taken advantage of. Y'all making him sound like he feeble and frail, and you know what I'm saying, got dragged into the ring against his. I don't know what y'all talking about. That man just made over $20 million, bro.
Right. And he allowed his legacy, his stardom and everything to be exploited.
Right. And exploited, in my opinion, listen, man, I think for a good reason. I think he threw the dice. I think at the end of the day, that event was huge, bro. And nothing nobody in here can say is going to take that away. I mean, the event is still getting talked about now. Everybody wants to take Jake Paul's head off because they feel like he took advantage of Mike Tyson. And everybody want to beat him up. You know what I mean? That's continuing to blow up his brand. He's starting to do his thing. He got so many options on the table, it don't make any sense. But also at the end of the day, Netflix got to see what it feels like to be part of boxing. And the bigger question that everybody should have is, I wonder how Netflix feels about this. Do they feel like it's worth investing in those servers and opening up that network so the crashing doesn't happen anymore? Do they see boxing as something profitable to get involved with? Because this doesn't only open the door for Jake Paul. This opens up the door for maybe potentially PBC, maybe potentially Top Rank, maybe potentially other boxing promotional companies that are looking to enhance their market value. This is an open opportunity where Netflix had a great experience, and the next Netflix fans had a decent experience. The ones who are upset because they expected Mike Tyson to hop across the ring and knock Jake Paul out, those guys may feel some kind of way. But at the end of the day, hopefully they also found some entertainment in those great fights that were on the undercard.
Yeah, it was. And again, the thing is, Clay, they opened the door for this to happen. Being a fan of a fighter, instead of being a fan of the sport of boxing, is what opened the door for Jake Paul to be able to do what he's doing. Period. Right. That's you open the door. Being a pom-pom shaker, being a $10 Walmart sneaker wearing, lollipop sucking, overly fanatic of one fighter instead of being a fan of the sport of boxing, is what generated and opened the door for Jake Paul to even have a leg to stand on in the sport. He didn't have a leg to stand on in the sport if you actually got the best fighting the best and you actually wanted to see the best fighting the best, instead of coming here every day trying to defend your favorite fighter, being an overly fanatic of your favorite fighter, instead of supporting the sport of boxing, like I always say, be a fan of the sport of boxing first, a fan of a fighter second.
Right.
And because y'all was choosing the mass majority, overly wanting to see just your favorite fighter, only caring about your favorite fighter, opposed to caring about the sport itself, is what put the sport in the position that it's in currently right now as it stands. And that's why he even had the opportunity. Again, like I said earlier, right, Clay? He came in and he made the Amanda Serrano-Katie Taylor fight. And guess what?
Yep.
All these promoters, all these managers, and all these fighters that you say make all this money in the sport, because y'all come here talking about, oh, this fighter make this amount. He made this money. Ryan Garcia, y'all told me Ryan Garcia made $30 million for the Tank fight. Tank made $50 million for the fight. Canelo make 35 to 40 to 50 million a fight. Joshua making 30 million a fight. That's what y'all say. So why haven't they put the money up to make the fights happen? They all could have came together and made Amanda Serrano-Katie Taylor fight. Right. Something else that just bothered me, right? Carissa Shields put on social media, she says, it's hard for her to get down to 140, 147, right, Clay?
Yeah,
but if somebody gave them
Alicia Baumgartner, yeah.
Right. If somebody gave her $6 million, she'll make it. Right. And I'm in my head like, you talking about 3 Olympic gold medals. You talking about 3 division undisputed champions, multi-division world champions. Massive fight for these guys, for these gals. Right. And she can't even get $6 million? Katie Taylor versus Carissa Shields, if Carissa Shields was to come down in all that weight and make that fight, Clay. That would be enormous.
Yeah. But do they know how to market it? That's another question, right? I mean,
but Clay, you don't even got to market it, because again, you can make Jake Paul another fight.
Right. Well, now you can see that, right? Now maybe there's maybe now, but maybe prior to that, you know, I mean, they just didn't understand how to market women boxing, or, you know, didn't even understand how to really attack it, because most men weren't really interested in them fighting. It was going to take a gamble, really, like, you know, that Amanda Serrano-Katie Taylor fight, it just happened to be a really great fight, the first one. And that just kind of set the momentum forward about like, all right, well, man, it's about competitive boxing. Like Carissa Shields has always been a great fighter, but she's never really had that dance partner to make her part of like some huge, exciting fight. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano came together and showed the world like, yo, this is fun to watch, and I want to see it again. They're even talking about doing a trilogy right now. The staying power has to be there. The gambling on something new, you know, trying to add and innovate something that you guys are already doing, and trying to evolve with the times and with the technology and with the styles of marketing, and you know, thinking about the fact that the pay-per-view model isn't as strong as it was back in the day. You have streaming platforms like Netflix, and then you have the illegal streaming platforms as well, all over the place, destroying your whole entire pay-per-view business model. It's just a lot of thought, and when people get lazy and they get lulled into the convenience of just getting money, just like they're printing money because they're able to charge everybody these pay-per-views, and you know, all these streaming services weren't available, they kind of lost their, you know, they lost their creativity on doing something with boxing that's never been done before, to try to make the biggest amount of money. Like, you know, when Don King did what he did with the Rumble in the Jungle, and, you know what I mean, and took that, you know, he was thinking about innovating. He was thinking about making it bigger. How can I make it more interesting, bigger? These boxing promotional companies don't seem like they're really interested in that. Like Turkey did with Riyadh season, and how he did it with the trailers and the movie trailers for these fights, and, you know, the video games, and thinking outside the box and trying to figure ways out to be like exciting. And, you know, like Bruce Gass said on my channel the other day, people know what the steak is, but how many guys are out there really working on putting the sizzle on the steak? You know what I mean? Making it smell good when you walk past a restaurant, and making you want to walk into the restaurant like, what's cooking in here? Like, you know, the meat of the steak, the protein value of the steak is the meat, but the seasoning, you know what I mean, the kind of wood you're using, if you're charbroiling it, all those extra intangibles that nobody's taking into consideration to blow up the product. What creativity are you guys bringing to the space? Jake Paul showed you on Friday night, like, look, man, I'm gonna come out here in a low rider car with my brother, and I'm gonna make it a big deal. I'm gonna step on Mike's toe. I'm gonna get slapped by Mike. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do all these different things and all these quote unquote antics that are gonna put asses in seats and also put people in front of the television screens trying to watch this happen. Now, you guys can hate on Jake Paul, but I don't know where that gets us. I don't know where that gets boxing, you know what I'm saying, to make this all about Jake Paul and not make it about, damn, this is what boxing could be. And then now, hopefully, you know, these other promotional companies are start using their minds more and becoming more creative. Because the only reason the Jake Pauls exist and the Turkey Allah Sheiks exist in this space in the capacity that they do is because of a lack of leadership and development on the promoters that are here stateside. They're the ones who left the opening for boxing to end up where it's at, because they're not putting forth the best effort to make the great matchmaking, to give the fans what they want, to feed the people who they're asking to spend their money, feed them what they want, which is the best fighting the best. It's really that simple. This idea of not feeding the fans was only going to last for so long, because as soon as somebody came in from the outside looking in with the right resources and they started to give the fans what they want, boom, everybody's excited and want to see that all the time. Now it's even harder for you guys to push that whole entire structure. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't know. You know what I mean? People are going to get upset, but this is the stump that they're running into. You know, the whole Lamont Roach, you know, situation, you know what I mean, got pushback, right? It was like, damn, finally. What do you mean we ain't going to do it? I want to do the fight. Nah, bro. Nobody wants to see it. What do you mean nobody wants to see it? Listen, man, they want to see you fight somebody for real. They got people they want to see you fight. I'm sorry. It's not that we're out there with the censuses. We got our agents out there, ear to the street, listening to what's going on. We're not getting positive feedback about this situation. It's not going to work anymore. We need good matchmaking, and we need some creativity, and we need you guys to stop charging us $90 a damn paper. You know what I'm saying? A damn pay-per-view to see shit we don't want to see. Or continue doing, listen, man, continue doing what you feel like is working. Go ahead and continue doing it. But it looks diabolical when you guys are hating on Jake Paul for having an event in boxing as big as he did. And you guys know the card was jumping, man. It was a good card, man. There's definitely 2 fight of the year candidates on that card. The Mario Barrios and the Abel Ramos fight, potential fight of the year candidates. Definitely one of the best fights of the year. And then of course Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Even with the controversy around the headbutting and Amanda being robbed or whatever have you, that was on that card. And a lot of people all around the world saw it. What else do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want? You know what I mean? It is what it is. Shout out Jacob. Yeah, man. There was a lot of real boxing that happened on that card. You talk about real boxing. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor wasn't real boxing. Mario Barrios versus Abel Ramos wasn't real boxing. Shuzu Carrington's fight against Dana Kuwa wasn't real boxing. Shadeja Green's fight and her becoming a super middleweight champion wasn't real boxing. The whole card is not real boxing because of a exhibition spectacle of a fight that was done for the main event. Everybody could have took a nap and not watched that event and enjoyed the rest of that card. Come on, man. And why are we talking about Jake Paul? Because of the marketing. He's all over the algorithm right now. He the hottest topic in boxing right now. You guys want us to just ignore it off the strength of dislike for this man, and can't give me a legitimate reason as to why we shouldn't be talking about the most talked about topic in boxing today. Be honest with yourself. What content space and platform was not talking about Jake Paul since Friday night? Since Friday night. Come on, man. You guys got to be honest with yourself, man. Stop all the BS. It don't make no sense. You
Right.
should the real push needs to come now on these other promotional companies and be able to tell them, like, listen, man, you see what they did? Why are we not doing that?
Right.
Did you see what they just did? Why the hell we not doing that? Why are we not doing that? How come? Why did Netflix and PBC negotiate?
Even Leonard Ellaby Clay said, man, the production for this is great. It was great. And another thing, I had somebody came up to me today. I was in Michael's at Home Depot, right? And dude noticed me, and he comes up and he's like, hey, man, that Jake Paul, man, that was terrible. Him and his wife, right? Older couple, right? And they said, man, that was terrible. And I said, why was it terrible? Man, you know, that was a whole clown show. I said, why was it? Why was it a clown show? Then the wife said, well, the two women was good. And then she goes, and the fight before that was good too. And I said, and the fight before that was good too, wasn't it? And she was like, yeah, it was. She was like, then there was another woman that my husband was watching. That was a pretty good fight too. I said, Shadasia Green. She said, yeah. She said, but you know, she's an older lady. She goes, I'm from the old school and I was rooting for Mike Tyson. I said, and I completely understand you. But why was the entire card? Why are you throwing the baby away with the bathwater?
Right.
What that had? She's like, oh, because that wasn't real fighting. I said, the whole and rest of the entire card was real fighting, was real boxing. You enjoyed all those cards. She said, yeah. I said, right. I said, now let me ask you a question. You could watch other fight cards from top to bottom, and you could find worse fights than Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. It was 8 2-minute rounds. Mike Tyson 58. And he allowed his name, his brand, and his celebrity and his legacy to be exploited. He chose to do that for money. His family, his team, they allowed him to do that for money.
Right.
So she says, yeah, well, you never seen Muhammad Ali. I said, let me stop you there.
Yeah,
yes, you did.
Yeah.
I said, furthermore, Muhammad Ali fought the likes of Leon Spinks and Larry Holmes when he was way past his prime. And the only reason he did it, yes, he was competitive, but he was way past his prime. He clearly was physically on the decline. And he did it for money. And he took a beating in those fights that had long-term life effects on him. It had long-term life effect. It affected his life long-term. He didn't have to do those things, but he did it. George Foreman came back at 45 years of age. And let's be real. George Foreman was taking an absolute pounding in most of those fights. And Clay, what was we saying? Man, George could take a punch.
Right.
Those brutal punches he was taking against Holyfield. It was Shannon Briggs, Holyfield.
What's in Michael Moore?
Michael Moore. If he didn't knock out Michael Moore, what did he accomplish? He took a lot of punishment. He just didn't have the medical thing, thank goodness. He didn't have the physical issues that Muhammad Ali and many other fighters. He didn't have the slurring of words and Parkinson's and things of that nature. Still today, right? But let's not mistake it with him not taking punishment at 45 years of age.
Right.
Because if you watch that Holyfield fight, it was hard to watch.
Right.
Bro, the sweat and the punches and he was taking, look, absolute brutal. I'm like, I watch it to today and I know the outcome and I know his health wasn't affected today. And I'm still like hard to watch. Like, bro, they should have stopped this.
Right.
Holyfield got tired, Clay, of just pounding on George. That's why he started getting tired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's not act like we haven't seen this before. The problem is Jake Paul is a YouTube sensation turned professional boxer. And what gets dismissed here? One thing, he's white American. That's another thing. Number two, he came from the antics. Right? It's like I said today's time with Oscar De La Hoya. His history and his past today's time gets overshadowed. His legacy gets overshadowed by his antics today's time. The fishnets and the drugs and the rehab and all of these things, it overshadows who he was as a fighter. And so that's what's happening with Jake Paul in this situation. And all of the good things he's doing is getting overshadowed because we simply have the old granddad, don't walk on my lawn mentality. And we are missing the fact that Jake Paul is actually opening doors for fighters. That other fighters that have been in this game, that have made millions upon millions of dollars, are not doing for other fighters.
Yeah, man. And I see somebody here saying that us giving him this burn is the reason why the UFC is on the come up. No, the UFC is on the come up because the best fight the best over there. Because they give the fans what they want. The fans want to see the fights, and Dana works his ass off to give him those fights. It's very simple. You guys, you know, and I'm gonna tell you what though, it's not Jake Paul and the UFC that's putting the UFC on the come up. It's you fans who have no standard and take whatever boxing got to give you right now, and you're not watching your sport that you love grow. Right? It's not growing for years. Boxing isn't where it's at because of what Jake Paul did Friday, bro. Stop it. Boxing's been on a trajectory heading this way for a long time, well before Jake Paul came in this game. And like I said before, his existence is just a side effect of boxing dropping the ball on putting boxing where it's supposed to be at, on letting champions fight the best. Mandatories mean something. The ranking system means something. Championship belts mean something. Legacy meaning something. That being taken away from the sport is what left this door open for you guys to see what you saw on Friday night, and left to see Turkey Al-Sheikh come in the game in the capacity that he's in the game. And if you guys aren't going to notice that, then you're probably going to get just aged out the game at this point. Boxing is in trouble, bro. You guys better wake up. Boxing is in trouble. It's been in trouble for a long time. You guys are part of a real niche minority group of people who are watching boxing. Boxing is not getting the credibility. It's getting shot at every day. People talk about why there's so many belts. Don't understand why the champions don't got to defend against the best. You got people who are in mandatory positions for 2+ years, end up having to leave a weight division and go somewhere else because they can't get a shot at, or an opportunity at fighting for a title. The structure and the whole entire corruption in boxing is the reason why boxing is where it's at. UFC is where it's at because they give the fans what they want. They follow a very simple business model marketing strategy. It's very easy for them. We got the best fighter fighting the best fighter on this card.
Right.
And people are able to keep up with it. They know what the rankings are. The ranking structure means something. So when they see one guy lose and he goes down in the rank, they pay attention to the ranking structure. They go to the website and they're like, okay, who's ranked here? And they're able to decide who's going to make the fights happen. That holds no weight over here. Jake Paul on Friday has nothing to do with boxing being in the position it's in. And us sitting here talking about the most talked about topic in boxing today isn't why boxing is where it's at.
And another thing is, why wouldn't we talk about it, seeing as though Jake Paul is doing good things for the sport of boxing? He's really legit doing good things for the sport of boxing.
The best, I mean, right now, what do you want? That was great. The fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is its own topic.
It's a spectacle. We understand that.
Right. But the what we saw on Friday night, the production, come on, man. The production
and the competitive fights on the undercard. Why are you complaining about it? You complaining because Jake Paul is making money and he's showing up these quote unquote actual boxers that don't care about the sport. They don't care about the sport. They only care about themselves. They're selfish and they only care about themselves in the sport of boxing. They don't care about their peers and they don't care about the fans. But Jake Paul is a showman. So he cares about the fans. He cares about the spectacle. And of course, he's going to benefit off of it. But I said this yesterday. If you go through the first 10 fights of Canelo Alvarez's career, it's trash. He fought 3 guys that made their debut that had no boxing experience. His first 10 fights as a professional. Then he fought 3 guys that had 1 fight. And that was a loss. They were 0-1-0. 3, 0-1-0, 0-1-0, 0-1-0. And 3 guys making their debut. So he had 6 fights out of his first 10 fights as a professional. And 6 fights added up to 3 actual fights. And they had 3 losses. They had 6 fights, right, Clay? They was 0-3-1-0. And then the first time, Clay, in that 10 fights, he fought a guy that had the slightest bit of experience. The guy was actually 6 wins and 9 losses. 6 wins and 9 losses. No, I'm lying, Clay. He was 3 wins and 6 losses. The dude had 9 fights. He had 3 wins and 6 losses, right, Clay? And Canelo fought and they had a draw. That was the only guy had 9 fights total and had boxing experience. And he fought him and they went to a draw. And you don't know none of these guys. You don't know what they did in their walk of life in their first 10 fights. You have no clue what they did in their first 10 fights. Yeah. You don't know if this dude was a cab driver. He made his debut. You don't know if he was a cab driver. You don't know if he was a construction worker. You don't know if he worked at Walmart. You don't know if he was homeless. You don't know nothing about that man.
Yeah.
So the difference is Jake Paul is fighting people you are aware of, and so you labeling them non-boxers. But if I go through Tank Davis' first 10 fights, Floyd Mayweather first 10 fights, right. Canelo first 10 fights, and all that, you don't know none of those dudes. But because Jake Paul actually fought better opposition in his first 10 fights than Canelo did. Because Tyron Woodley is actually a combat athlete that knows how to defend himself and knows how to strike, as well as Anderson Silva, as well as Tommy Fury, right? And you say he fought a YouTuber. What's so different than a YouTuber and a guy that never had a fight? For all you know, that guy could have been homeless. You know nothing about that man. He could have been working at Chipotle, Clay.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I just don't put the weight on Jake like that, man. I know, I know what his purpose is, and I look at him in with the perspective of his purpose, taking an effect, right? Like I understand what he's there for, bro. Like he's there to take, to get paid off of his likeness and off of his following and off of his antics.
Hold that thought, Clay. Fred Max said, "Blue, stop it." Stop what? What am I to stop, Fred Max? You said stop it. Stop what? This is the silliness that we deal with in the sport of boxing. Stop what? A guy making his boxing debut, you don't even know this man. You think that Tyron Woodley couldn't beat that man in boxing? You don't know a damn thing about that man. And you got the nerve to talk about stop it.
Yep, Bobby Womack for sure.
87 Wizzle said in the super chat, listen to this. This is the thing this is why the sport of boxing is trash. This is why the sport of boxing is trash and is going in the direction that it's going in, Clay. This is absolutely why. Because people like these people. This dude
And what does that mean, paid off? Like, to do what?
He's trying to say that the people Jake Paul fought took a dive. How would you know?
I mean, why do we really care?
Right.
Like, is anybody trying to put Jake Paul as like a championship boxer or a contender, or I don't know, like or do you guys feel like we're sitting here trying to sell Jake Paul as a professional boxer who should be respected? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you guys envision this whole Jake Paul conversation going? Like Jake Paul is somebody who wanted to box. He decided late in his life he wanted to box. He had the money to put behind himself a team. He's been trying to box for the past 4 to 5 years. He gets a lot of privilege because of who he is. Do you guys expect him to? Is he getting put in front of Canelo? Is he getting put in front of Terrence Crawford? Is he getting put in front of? I don't know. I don't understand. Who cares if he paid off every single fighter that ever got in front of him? What in the world? What in the world do I care? What in the absolute world do I care? I don't get it.
Listen to this.
I don't get it.
Canelo Alvarez in his first 10 fights fought a guy by the name of Abraham Gonzalez. This man finished his career with 11 fights, right, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
He finished his career with 11 fights. And his record ended up being 1 win, 9 losses, and a draw. And he was knocked out 8 times, Clay.
Hmm.
So you mean to tell me you don't think that Tyron Woodley could beat that man?
Hmm.
Who said boxing was his profession?
I don't know, man. I
The
don't know why.
dude had a total of 11 fights and was knocked out 9 times.
Yeah. I don't know why like everybody's upset about the Jake Paul runs boxing thing. I don't know why you put that up there personally. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but for me personally, if he does run boxing, it's because of the amount of attention you got, the amount of hate you guys give him. You know what I'm saying? You guys are he's the most talked about thing in boxing right now. Why? I mean, if you guys really felt like, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't care about it. I care way more about that undercard. And the undercard's not getting talked about enough because you guys are so busy focusing your energy on Jake Paul either getting kicked out of boxing, which I don't understand how you're going to kick him out of boxing without him getting beat up. Maybe you guys want to do some matchmaking, put him in the ring with the right people. I don't know what the situation is, but I can tell you I walked away with that undercard thinking like, damn, bro, who's Mario Barris going to fight next? Is he going to unify with Stanionis? Is he going to run it with Boots? Is he going to run it with Brian Norman? What's he going to do in his next fight? He just had a draw with Abel Ramos, and a lot of holes in his game got kind of exposed by somebody who people weren't anticipating giving that kind of energy. What about Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor? Are they going to run the trilogy? I mean, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? So many different things, not to mention the Riyadh season card that came on the next day, but you guys are so busy trying to like debunk this Jake Paul thing. Like, you don't know who he is. And I think that's where I'm more so confused at is like, you guys act like you don't know who he was. I don't understand the what you're upset about. He threw an event. He put fighters on the card. The event got a hell of people watching it. You want him, he shouldn't have, he shouldn't have been allowed to do that or something. I don't understand. All I can think about is boxing benefiting off the platform being opened up. That's it.
Sincerely, you're welcome to click the link.
Overwhelming, so it's not true. The thumbnail is a shot at your ego. It's a shot at boxing's ego. That's what it is. That's what the thumbnail is. The thumbnail is a direct shot at your ego, right? At your entitlement. That's what it's a shot at. It's overwhelming. 4 letters is overwhelming you. Well, damn.
Morons are right.
Well, damn. But that's what it's there for. It's there because we understand, you know what I'm saying? The psychology of people who can't see the what do they say? Who can't see the trees for the forest? Is that how it goes?
Can't see the forest through the trees.
Can't see the forest through the trees. That's all it is. You're caught up. You're stuck. Turn off the TV, bro. And I keep telling y'all, stop sleeping with the TV on, bro. Get good sleep, quality sleep. You know what I'm saying? Wake up refreshed. Get your focus together. Read more. Don't be so triggered. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? But it is definitely a shot at your ego because look at you. Look at you. This is your biggest mission right now. You guys want to blame every issue boxing has right now on Jake Paul having a card on Friday night. This is why boxing is messed up, because what Jake Paul did on Friday night.
Right.
Well, I then.
Make it make sense. Salute to my brother Jay Petty City in the super chat, dropping that cinco on us in the super chat. He said, "Will the business model be suitable, sustainable, or is it this a
Salute,
flash
knockout.
in the pan?" It depends on the sport. Jay Petty City.
That was absolute. What Knockout just said in the chat was absolutely right on point, bro.
Right.
I got goosebumps in my arm because that's the only thing that matters, bro. Anybody expecting more from the spectacle between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, you just shame on you. Hit yourself on the back of the hand, bro.
And it goes back and shout out to Knockout, right? He said the fight was a clown show and everyone should have seen it coming. Can't get mad at Jake for getting a bag. Serrano Taylor was fire. Shoo showed out, and Barros versus Ramos was a banger. Facts. But exactly, Knockout. What did you expect from a 58-year-old Mike Tyson that been sitting on his couch, puffing the Magic Dragon?
It is what it is. Mike got a bag.
What do we expect? We expected Mike Tyson to like, come on, man.
Get over it. The card was good, man. The card had good fights on it, man. And like I said, Netflix opening up the doors for boxing, the Al Haymans of the world, the Bob Arams of the world, the people who are needing additional platforms. You listen, man. If it does work out, right? Let's say the PBC does something with Netflix, or Top Rank does something with Netflix, right? And this is where they transfer the business model to doing something like that. Does that happen without this event on Friday being as successful as it was?
Right.
I mean, you never know, right? But you guys got to get over the simple thing. Stop being so distracted. Stop getting so distracted by something that doesn't even matter. It was 8 rounds, 2 minutes apiece. You didn't even have to watch it.
But Clay, people are putting this jacket on Jake Paul. The dude only had 10 fights. Again, if I go through the list of your favorite fighter, first 10 fights, you don't know who those people are, and they trash. And you wasn't watching them making $40 million on the biggest stage as a novice in their first 10 fights. You mad that he came into sport boxing from another walk of life? He had the heart and the kahunas to actually step in a boxing ring. If Mike Tyson ran up on you right now, 90% of the people in this chat,
including me,
if Mike Tyson said, "Let's get in the ring right now," you would not do it, because he will knock your block clean off. Right now, the version that you just seen, he'll knock your block clean off. Salute to 87 Blizzle brother back in the super chat.
No, I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie, Blue. Like, I'm not finna give Jake Paul no props for fighting no old ass Mike Tyson. Right?
No, but the thing is, this is what we missing. And salute to Blizzle. He said they were paid off, fam. No, they was not. And salute to 87 Blizzle back in the super chat, dropping a half a dub on us in the super chat. He said, "Fam, I watch all the guys fight, and them UFC guys gets more money from fighting Jake than their whole career. The only omen he beat was Nate Robinson. Sorry, the woman had the best fights." Who said that they wouldn't have the best fights? Why wouldn't the women have the best fights? See, this is, again, like I said, we don't pay attention. Paying attention is free. It's the most free, expensive thing in the world. Why wouldn't Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano be a better fight when Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are both first ballot Hall of Famers in their prime, or just about to exit their prime? What are you talking about? Of course, why wouldn't they have the better fight? Mike Tyson is 58 years old and was puffing the Magic Dragon sitting on his couch. But again, and see, Clay said he don't give like this, right? You don't give Jake for beating Mike Tyson. But this is a testament to Jake Paul, Clay.
Right.
Because you actually see that he has boxing skills. That's why you don't give him credit for it.
I mean,
but if me and you got up off our couch right now and fought Mike Tyson and beat him, people would give us credit for it.
Probably.
Right? Because we quote unquote the average Joe.
I think Jake Paul has, yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that at the end of the day, the whole idea that people are going to paint a picture that Mike Tyson was a victim and that Jake Paul was taking advantage of him would mean that you think Jake Paul has some boxing skills to take advantage of Mike Tyson.
Right.
Look, man, I'm clear. When it comes to the Jake Paul business, do what you do, brother. Get your money, work it the way you want to work it. I'm not going to look at you the same way I look at boxers who've been doing this their whole life. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do it. I don't see it in you that way. But I'll tell you what, though, if that's what a mission of yours is, if this is something you are taking seriously, I don't think fighting Mike Tyson pushes him in the direction of showing us he's taking boxing seriously. But keep in mind that I don't take you seriously. I don't take Jake Paul seriously. Now, if this is something that's important to him, if it's important to him that I do take him seriously, then there's certain moves that he'll make that'll make me take him seriously. You'll fight somebody who's top 20 something, I don't know, like, or you'll fight somebody in the same conversation with you in a prospect level. But I don't expect you to do that because you got to make your money. You know what I'm saying? You got to sell your pay-per-views. You're not here with the same reason Gervonta Tank Davis started fighting, Devin Haney started fighting, Terrence Crawford started fighting. That's not what's driving you. So I'm not expecting that from him. I'm not putting those expectations on his shoulders. But at the same exact time, you know what I mean? I'm going to say, if you're going to use your likeness, if you're going to use this market value that you built up for yourself, and you're going to use it to open up platforms that are going to allow what I consider to be real fighters, real boxers who need the light, who are not getting the exposure. If you're going to use it to do that, I'm here for it. I'm okay with it. I understand. Now, I could see if Jake Paul was constantly, like if Jake Paul's next fight was going to be against Holyfield, I'd have an issue. Or if it was going to be against Riddick Bowe or something, I'd have an issue with it, right? Normally, he goes against some MMA fighter or somebody who's at least athletic, somebody who at least has that background in this space where they can defend themselves. And if they lose, they lose. I'm not tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? The Mike Tyson situation was a one-off situation, in my opinion. I'm not ready to see Jake Paul sit out there and go fight James Toney and go beat up all the old legends who are a shell of themselves. I'm not trying to say that, but I do believe in this particular situation with the rollout of Netflix, with the opportunity that was there for all those fighters on the undercard, with the future opportunities that we can reasonably argue may be there. We don't know yet what Netflix has decided to do, but if Netflix does open the door and allow it to be a space where big fights can be made, where big promotional companies can come and stage their events, then I don't know if that happens without this particular event on Friday happening. And I will celebrate you for being part of that, maybe even the actual catalyst, actual movement that pushed that forward. I'll celebrate you for that. But I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to boxing, I'm not one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? I like boxing too much. I got too much respect for boxing. You got work to do. You ain't fought nobody that I'm supposed to be looking at you like that for. You know what I mean? Nobody. I'll give you the one person he fought that I'll give him respect for would be Tommy, because Tommy, comes from a boxing family. And you know what else I'll give him? I'll give him Anderson Silva, because I saw Anderson Silva beat what's my guy's name? Junior. What was his name? Chavez Jr. You know what I'm saying? I'll give him that and say that showed me that he has some pedigree. He's been working. He's getting better. But yeah, if Jake Paul truly wants to get that boxing accolade, if this is something for Jake Paul to get the boxing accolade, then his next move will be his best move, because this didn't help that conversation, in my opinion. This move with Mike Tyson didn't help that argument or that conversation for me personally. But outside of that, like I said, using your likeness to help out these fighters, I'm here for it.
But Clay, here's the thing that people are missing. Mm-hmm. This is the massive thing that people are missing. Mm-hmm. He is a novice with only 10 fights.
Right, I understand. I'm giving you the respect for that. I understand.
And so what happens is people are putting Jake Paul need to fight this guy to be legitimized. He only has 10 fights.
No, but he does though, Blue. He needs to fight somebody to be legitimized for the word.
But he's already fought actual box. Think about this, Clay. Outside of Keyshawn and outside of Lomachenko, right?
Right.
Keyshawn in his 12th fight is going to fight for a world title, right?
Right.
And he beat Gustavo Lemos and he beat a world champion in Pedraza.
Right.
Lomachenko fought Gary Russell, right? These dudes, they are considered an anomaly.
Right.
Because 100%. We don't start seeing this until 15 fights at least.
Right.
So he fought, think about this. In his, what was it, two or three fights ago? He fought another undefeated prospect on the same trajectory as he is from a fighting family in Tommy Fury.
Right.
Who does that outside of them? Nobody.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. The expectations, because his stardom, because of his star power, because of his status, his celebrity, and because of the money he's making and generating with only these amount of fights.
Right.
We are quick to say, you ain't a real fighter until you do this. Well, I just told y'all, Canelo fought a guy that was 3 wins and 6 losses and had a draw.
But I gotta push back, Blue. It's not about like elite, like whatever Canelo did, whatever a lot of these fighters did. When you look at their first 5 to 10 fights, it's diabolical. I've seen it, even with Tank. Like, he had some crazy fights in his first 5 to 10 fights, but they were fighters, they were boxers. He's not fighting boxers, and not only is he not fighting boxers, but he's the matchmaking is on purpose, stylistically made, where he's taking advantage of people who ain't in the same space as him, right? In other words, if Jake Paul fought a boxer, somebody who's training to be a boxer in his same category, let's say right now he's sitting at like 10 wins, right? So if he goes against a fighter, let's say his next boxing match, he goes against a fighter who's active, who has a record of like, let's say 7 wins and 5 losses, right? But he's a boxer. I think that would get way more respect than him stylistically picking fighters who aren't in the same space as him. He can do it only so many times before his value as far as a boxer who's developing. A lot of people felt like Jake Paul digressed in that Mike Tyson fight. Like, he looked like he lost a lot of skills. Like, he hasn't been, working as hard as he was before. But he can squash all that by the proper matchmaking being made, by being placed inside of the ranking system and fighting fighters that are in his space, in his level, and starting to compete in that way so that he can move up the ranking system and potentially get himself in a title contention, right? Show that that's where you're trying to go. Now, once again, I want to be very clear. I don't look at this man like this, but if this is what this man wants, if the legitimacy is, it's like when him and Eddie Hearn had that conversation on the camera, and Eddie Hearn said, no, this dude's you're an average fighter. And he was like, oh, and he tried to make all these examples. Eddie Hearn was like, Jake, stop, Jake, stop. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you want me to match you up with somebody who's on your level, so you can show everybody who you are, we can make that happen. But outside of that, you're an average fighter. You're okay, and continue moving on with your career. And we'll watch you and we'll support you on moving on becoming a boxer. Now, I just think it's 2 separate conversations, right? I think the event on Friday, that conversation, and Jake Paul's career is 2 separate conversations. Jake Paul's career is a conversation where we can go into that and be like, all right, well, what is this man going to do next? Because that's why the whole boxing space is pushing at him. That's why the space is pushing at him as far as him being considered a legitimate boxer in the conversation of what we consider legitimate boxers. When we're watching Shushu, when we're watching Abdullah Mason, who's considered a prospect right now, right? Who's still considered a prospect. When we talk about these fighters that are up and coming and trying to make their names, Jake Paul can't be in the same conversation as those dudes. Like,
but here's the thing. Now watch this. This is what I'm saying. Canelo Alvarez is right now 62 fights. He has a total of 66 fights. Canelo Alvarez, his 8th fight as a professional, he fought a guy by the name of Francisco Villanueva. He had 4 wins and 5 losses.
But he was a boxer, right?
We don't know. We don't know what this man did.
I'm just saying he got a record in boxing.
No,
when he fought
right,
when he fought Tyrone Woodley, he was 0-0-0.
Right, but oh, you frozen.
I'm frozen.
But you came back. But in Canelo's first 10 fights, he fought 3 guys that was 0-0-0.
Okay, but they were boxers. I don't know.
How do we know they boxers?
I don't know. I don't know that they're boxers, but I'm saying whatever he did in his past is his past, right? I can't change his past. But if he wants the conversation to change, he has to make his next move his best move. He has to
Clay,
show
those three guys that was 0-0-0,
right?
That was in Mexico, that you don't know what they did for a living.
Right.
If Tyrone Woodley fought those 3 guys,
would he beat them? Right.
I'm putting my money on Tyrone Woodley.
Right. I'll put my money on Tyrone Woodley in that. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
Now, listen to this. He fought a guy in his 8th fight. Now, I want y'all to follow me now. Because you got morons like it's the world TV just talking because they have a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking because he has a mouth. Morons are us. You are moron or us. Canelo in his 8th fight, not so smart guy. He fought a guy, Francisco Villanueva. The dude had 4 wins, 5 losses. Right, Clay?
Right.
Guess who Canelo fought in his 18th fight? 10 fights later.
The same dude? I'm trying to look at the record.
The same dude, Francisco Villanueva. Guess how many wins he picked up, Clay?
Hold on. 18. There he is for sure. He picked up. Oh yeah, man. Three more wins.
How
right?
many wins he picked up?
4 wins.
He picked up none.
Oh, because he was 4 from there. Oh yeah, there he is 4. Yeah, he picked up none. He picked up 10 losses. He picked up 10 losses.
Canelo fought him the first time. He was 4-5.
Right.
Canelo fights him 10 fights later, Clay.
Right.
The dude picked up 12 losses and 2 draws and no wins.
Yeah.
Right? Canelo beats him. Guess who he fights in his 20th fight, Clay? 2 fights later.
Francisco Villanueva. He picks up a win and 2 more losses. Right.
In 20 fights, he fought Francisco Villanueva 3 times.
Right.
And the dude, the first time he was 4 wins and 5 losses. The second time, he was 4 wins and 15 losses and 2 draws.
All right,
then he fights him again 2 fights later.
But I think at the same time, though, to push back at it, I would say at the same time, Canelo's not out here headlining pay-per-view cards in big events. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look.
But that's the thing, Clay.
Right.
He is a high-profile novice. That's what I keep saying. We continue to, bro, if he fought Jose Villanueva 3 times right now, just because you're a professional fighter, you register as such, anybody can go in there and take a beating.
Right, but Jake is I'm sorry, bro. Jake is the headliner of these cards. He's going to be under this micro. And look, I think Jake is okay with this. I think Jake is I think he understands this.
But Clay,
I think we're speaking on his behalf in a way where I don't think he feels horrible about the attention he's getting. I think he knows that he deserves this scrutiny.
What I'm saying, Clay, is think about that. They would not dare. They matched Canelo Alvarez against a guy who had 3 wins and 6 losses, and he fought to a draw.
Right.
Jake Paul fought a guy in Tommy Fury who was on the same level as him, who was undefeated from a fighting family that we knew of that has potential.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought him and lost.
Right.
But he actually fought him.
Right.
In his first 8 fights. They would not dare match anybody up with a fighter like that in their first 8 fights outside of Keyshawn Davis and Lomachenko.
Right.
You just don't do that.
Right.
The thing is, we are just aware of Jake Paul, so we are paying attention to who he's fighting. That's the difference.
But so let me ask you a question.
And he's
Let me
fighting
ask you a
other
question, right?
celebrities.
So are you arguing on the behalf of his legitimacy and that he should be respected as an up and coming boxer?
No, what I'm saying is he should be respected as a novice. He's just a novice. He's new to boxing. It's just that he's a high profile.
Yeah, but fighting Mike Tyson, it doesn't fall under that category, right?
No, that was just an event.
Right. So we're talking about the fights before. We're talking about the fights that have gotten him to where he's at. That we're saying he's fighting nobodies. Right. That's
what I'm saying. So even Mike Tyson at 58, if 99% of this chat said, "Hey, I will give you," right? This dude talking all this talk, in the chat, I will give you headgear, no headgear, 12, 18, whatever ounce gloves they had, and you get your ass in the ring with Mike Tyson right now.
For money?
At 58.
For money.
For money.
I'm doing it.
He gonna knock your head clean.
Probably. Off. I'm gonna get that money. I mean, we're talking about real money, right? We're talking about
I'm talking about old boy talking in the chat.
Everybody I'm going in there with him. I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna go in there with him, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna pray.
But what I'm saying,
put it all together, and I'm going in there.
But be rich already. See, there's a difference.
If I'm rich, no, hell no.
There's a difference, right?
Right.
There's a difference. Have quote unquote no boxing experience and already be rich and don't need the money.
Right.
And go ahead and decide to get in the ring with Mike Tyson right now with no headgear on.
No, my money right. There ain't no reason me to do nothing stupid like that.
Exactly.
I'm taking those chances to feed my kids, take care of my babies, you heard?
Exactly. So if Jake Paul was this terrible commodity in the sport of boxing, we wouldn't have the thoughts that we have with him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we only saying and salute to my brother Charles Edward Cheese in the building.
He said he got me on the hibachi today. He got me on the hibachi. I am on the hibachi. You know why? Because the reason I'm on the hibachi is because I'm not with the whole Jake Paul movement like that. It's just a separate conversation. Like with Jake Paul, I hold Jake Paul in a box, and that's where he's at for me. I don't give him outside that box. I don't let him outside that box. To me, he's entertainment.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
I'm just not gonna give him that kind of life. But he can get that life from me if he takes a fight that I can respect. And I don't need him to take it against a killer or somebody who's undefeated, but I need to see him across the ring for somebody who's.
But Clay, in 20 fights, Canelo fought a guy in Francisco Villanueva. So if you put Jake Paul in there with Francisco Villanueva 3 times right now, with only 1 win in 3 fights, you're gonna give Jake Paul credit for fighting the boxer?
I'm gonna give him credit for having a career. I'm like, that's the steps he's supposed to be taking. I'm like, all right, he fought that guy, even though that guy was on his level, he's building. Like, I will acknowledge him. This is what I'm trying to say, right? Jake Paul hasn't shown me that he's actually trying to have a career in boxing. I haven't seen the matchmaking be the matchmaking of somebody who's trying to develop himself to be somebody in boxing. I see him taking advantage, doing a lot of money moves, a lot of, you got a lot of market value, I'll fight you. Or you're famous here, or you got a little bit of a name, even though somewhere else, I'll take advantage of you because I box and you don't box. That's what I see him doing. I don't see him.
But that's what they do at Top Rank. That's why they have the matchmaking they have.
Not like Jake. Jake is pulling.
Yes. These matchmaking, bro. Clay, Ben
Askren is not a boxer, bro.
Clay, we just went over who Canelo fought. You think that they matched him against Francisco Villanueva 3 times because he wasn't going to have an advantage?
Look,
they put Canelo in there to have the advantage.
Tommy Fury was a move in the right direction, but he needs to do more. He needs to continue. Look, I just can't take that man seriously.
Listen what you're saying. Well, listen what you're saying, right?
I can't.
You got check. Listen what you're saying. This was matchmaking at its finest with Canelo. They're matchmaking him perfectly in those first 20 fights.
Right, but Canelo
has to take advantage of these dudes.
Right, but okay, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Canelo would not have been where he was if he was taking retired UFC fighters and PFL fighters and basketball players but nobody would give him that respect, bro.
But Clay, Francisco Villanueva finished his career 15 wins,
That man got
37 losses.
That man got character, bro. He's stuck in the game, bro. And he really trying to have a boxing career.
Just because you get in the ring and take a beating don't make you a boxer.
I mean, clearly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So,
clearly,
that's what I'm saying. So
right.
But you put Tyron Woodley in there, who has a boxing background.
Mm-hmm. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
No, Tyron Woodley. You have to know some sort of boxing skill.
He was an MMA fighter, a wrestler. A wrestler was his foundation.
But he learned boxing.
He picked up boxing. Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
But he picked up boxing to implement it in a game of mixed martial arts where he had to anticipate takedowns and kicks and things.
But that's what I'm saying.
So he wasn't trained really.
He's a trained combat athlete at a high level,
but not a boxer.
In your 7th fight as a professional, I don't care what you do. This dude is a striker.
Yes,
and you have no experience. You have no experience. We forget.
Who doesn't have experience? Jake
Paul don't have no. He has no amateur background.
Right, no amateur. I mean, obviously Tyron Woodley. Listen, I'll give him. Listen, I'm saying,
do you
right?
understand what I'm saying?
Jake Paul, I understand what you're saying, but I will not give Jake Paul the respect of fighters who are developing themselves inside of a ranked structure to get themselves in position to get a title at some point. Jake Paul is not following that. He's doing something else.
But Clay, if he fought 3 guys that was making their debut right now, we forgetting they match made Canelo Alvarez, who has an amateur background.
Mm-hmm.
And they still match made him against cab drivers and people you've never heard of. And he has amateur background. Jake Paul has no amateur background.
Okay, another thing that we can hold against him as to why he's not.
But that's why it's impressive to even hold your own against.
Do you see Jake Paul ever? Do you see Jake Paul ever fighting for a title?
It depends how serious he take it. He's 27.
Oh, you agree that he is not? You agree that he's not taking it serious?
No, I'm saying how serious he plans on taking it in the future. He's already filthy rich.
But right now he's not.
No, right now he's taking it 1,000% serious.
How?
Why? Because bro, Clay, he's a novice, bro. He's doing nothing different than nobody else.
Why is he not allowing matchmaking to happen? Why is he not fighting people in a rank structure?
The first 20 guys that Canelo fought, show me out of those 20 guys that you putting your money on to beat Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, and Tommy Fury. Where they was at in their careers.
Right. I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know, because these guys are retired. Tyron Woodley was retired. Anderson Silva retired.
No, what I'm saying is
these guys are old.
If you
these
take
guys are out of there.
Dudes,
he's not fighting young.
What I'm saying is, if you take one of those 20 dudes, 3 of those 20 dudes to matchmake them against Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, and Tommy Fury, who you putting your money on, Clay?
I don't know those guys.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. So who says that they was boxers?
Listen, man, I don't know. I'm not giving Jake Paul the props. I'm not giving it.
No,
I'm not doing it.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. He's at a high level. You understand?
Right.
If he decides to continue his career and continue to focus on the sport of boxing, right? He's doing nothing different than everybody else in their first 10 fights. He's doing nothing different.
Well, you know what? I'm going to
fight is his 11th fight. That don't count.
Going to have to play his position. Hindsight will put better perspective on what he's done early in his career. If he ends up in the conversation, even in the top 10, right? Ranked in one of these sanctioning bodies based on fight, you know what I'm saying? Like based on fights that he's done, then I will look back. At what he's done and give more legitimacy to it.
But Clay, that's not realistic.
It's a money grab.
That's not realistic. Let me tell you why. Outside of Keyshawn and Lomachenko, who you know with 10 fights was in the top 15 rankings?
No, I'm saying in the future. If in the future in 25 fights into his career, he's in a position where he's looking at getting at some titles. I will look back and be like, yo, you were right, man. Those were some
but Clay, but this is what I'm telling you. But this is what I'm saying. In 20 fights,
but not until then.
In 20 fights, you holding him to a higher standard than Canelo Alvarez.
No, I'm not holding him to a high standard.
Yeah, you are. You know why? Because in 20 fights,
I am. You know why? You know why I mean, but listen, Canelo Alvarez has 60 plus fights. Come on, look at
we're not talking about what Canelo did on the back end. The first 20 fights of Canelo Alvarez's career.
Yeah, but didn't he turn professional like 15, 16 years old?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying though. But still in all, he had like amateur background and pedigree.
Let me pull up his
This dude does not have it. So we holding him to a standard that's not realistic because of his celebrity.
Yeah, because of where he's at on these cards.
No, but Clay,
he's headlining these cards.
He's only at that position. He's not stepping out of his position. Do you understand? Like he's a celebrity that's a big name and a big draw. So yes, he's headlining, but he's not stepping out of his position. He's not fighting Terrence Crawford in his third fight as the main event. He's fighting guys that are on his level.
Thank you, Carl Johnson. I'm trying, man. But
he has no amateur background. He has no boxing background.
I mean, what do you want us to say about Jake? Like, what are we supposed to say about him? What do you want?
What I'm saying is, people are saying that he's trapped. How? He only had 10 fights.
But it's because of the position he's in.
Yeah, but Clay, that's because we holding his celebrity against his
100%.
Because think about this. Do you think
if he wasn't Jake Paul, he wouldn't even be on this card?
But Clay, think about this. Do you think a dude can get up off his couch? You think a dude can get up off his couch and compete with Tommy Fury if he ain't a boxer?
No.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
It's not about that, though. It's where he is. He's not on these cards. He's not even on the opening card. He's under Shushu. He's under everybody if he's not Jake Paul.
But this is what I'm trying to tell. But
am I wrong?
What I'm saying. We're using his celebrity against him, right? So we gotta watch what's actually taking place. Yes, he's the main event, but he's not stepping outside of his level of fighting. He's just a celebrity, so he's the main event and he's the attraction. So he's bringing a lot of attention, but he's fighting the guys just like everybody else that's on his level of fighting where he's at in his career. He's just a celebrity.
I don't feel like that. I still think there's youth. There's youth. There's boxing background. There's all kinds of things that are involved in comparing 20 fights of Canelo Alvarez versus 20 fights of Jake Paul. Jake Paul is purposefully, like, look right now, he's calling out, he wants to fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor fights normally around 154 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make him probably fight up.
Canelo fought a guy making his debut. We don't know what he did in his walk of life.
Yeah, I have to assume he was boxing.
But why? Why are we assuming this man was? Because you can register as a boxer and box. Anybody can do that. This dude is in Mexico, so why are we automatically assuming he has an amateur background?
I don't know. Let me check here. Let me look.
This is what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Let me check it out right now. Let me get a good idea of what we're dealing with here. Man,
they all match make perfectly.
Who's he gonna go against? Let's go with this guy right here. I'm going with the first guy he ever fought, Abraham Gonzalez.
What did this dude do for a living? Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, let me go to the next dude. Hold on, wait a second. Oh, damn.
So if I go in there and keep getting knocked out, it's okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, Clay is seeing what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Look, I'm gonna say it like this, right?
Clay is seeing exactly what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Listen, I'm gonna say it like this, right? Jake Paul listen, man. with great power comes great responsibility, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Shout out to Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? He's in the position he's in. It comes with scrutiny. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for no damn Jake Paul. He made over $40 million in this fight. He's gonna catch the hell. The shots he gets.
I'm not saying feel sorry for him. What I'm saying is we have to be realistic with our expectations of Jake Paul. He's just fighting people instead of fighting the guy that Abraham Gonzalez, that you never heard of with no amateur background.
Right.
That Canelo fought. He's fighting Anderson Silva.
Right. Right.
Right. Instead of fighting the next guy who had one fight and finished his career with one fight.
Yeah.
And that was Canelo.
You're saying the level of fighter he's fighting for the stage he's at in his career is not far-fetched. It's actually quite normal.
It's normal.
Right.
It's on pay. It's just that he's doing it. We didn't see who Canelo was fighting.
Right. By
the time we took notice, he was already 18 with 20 wins.
But Jake is getting the pushback because Canelo was doing this in bars and little boxing gyms.
Right. He's getting the push.
Nobody heard of him.
Exactly, Clay. So
right.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Jake Paul is getting criticized for his celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he wasn't a celebrity, we wouldn't care. But because he's a celebrity in another walk of life, and he's already a millionaire in another walk of life, and boxing is a poor man's sport.
Right.
So now he's not a poor man in the sport.
Right.
And he's a celebrity who brings a lot of attention and attraction to the cards.
Right.
Then we saying, hey, Jake Paul, we being unrealistic with the criticism because he's doing. That's why I say, Clay, he's the main event because of the attraction, because of the celebrity, and because he's putting his money up, his own money for the cards. But he's not stepping out of bounds as far as disrespecting the sport, because he's staying in his lane and respecting. I ain't going to do this, and this. He's yapping because he has a platform and he knows how to sell. He's yapping, yes. Right? He's talking about, I'm going to do this, do that, X, Y, and Z, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And yes, he's yapping. But the facts remain, the truth of it all is he's doing matchmaking in boxing. Top Rank has the best matchmakers for a reason. They matchmake you to have
Exactly. I don't know why he's trying to do all this logical shit, but I'm gonna tell you like this.
No, y'all know y'all just don't want to give. Listen, Jake Paul is.
I'm about to say it. At the end of the day, bro, that's what Jake is here for. He's here to be hated on. He's here to have rocks thrown at him. That's his purpose, bro. That's what he's here for. He's a novice who's headlining a pay-per-view card. I mean, a card that could be considered pay-per-view, but headlining a card that generated a lot of money, brought a lot of attention to the sport, and all the real boxers were on the undercard for this. Jake is going to get the scrutiny. That's what his position. That's why I said Jake is fully aware. He embraces the hate he's getting. Everybody who's throwing shots at him, he purposefully positioned himself for the shots to be thrown at him. This is his vehicle that he's driving, and he plans on riding it until the wheels fall off to make as much money as he can. I'm aware of that. I acknowledge him for that. But what I won't do is act like he's not doing that and that he's not out of place being in the position he's in outside of his celebrity. He's not a headliner for a card. He's not this person. He's just that because of his celebrity, but his boxing legacy, his record, his resume does not deserve or call for the kind of attention he gets. His celebrity calls for the attention he gets. I can separate that and be like, all right, well, this is good, but at the same time, I don't want to conflict it with Jake Paul is a legitimate boxer that we should respect, because I don't think he's earned.
But that's what I'm saying. He is a legitimate boxer. He's just a novice. There's no different than him and everybody else.
Right, but not for the status he's at.
There's a handful. You got David Morrell. He got 11 fights. He going to fight David Benavidez. Right? Listen to the boxing voice yesterday. Ness was complaining this dude is not ready to fight on this level with 11 fights.
Right.
It's disrespectful to put him on pay-per-view.
Who you talking
about? David Morrell.
Oh, yeah. He was just saying that. You're right.
He was saying that yesterday, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Outside of Keyshawn Davis, Alexander Usyk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I keep saying Usyk. Lomachenko, there's a handful of guys that do this very early. Bob Arum, let me give y'all and let me tell y'all, enlighten y'all.
Mm.
Bob Arum says, and Floyd Mayweather Sr., in your first 20 fights, Floyd Sr. said, do not put my son in there with a southpaw.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is matchmaking for a reason. Bob Arum, in the fighter's first 20 fights, do not put him in there with a black fighter.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the NBA rule come from. No black fighters, NBF rule. Bob Arum will tell you that himself. We have an NBF rule. In your first certain amount of fights, you do not fight, you do not matchmake your fighters against a black fighter.
Right.
This is real promoters. Floyd Mayweather Sr. know what he's talking about. They carefully matchmake in the first part of their career.
Right.
So there's no different than Jake Paul carefully structuring his matchmaking in the first 10 fights.
I mean, it's all good, but he's going to get the, like, I hear what you're saying, right? And I acknowledge it. And I'm not saying Jake Paul needs to jump in there with anybody he ain't supposed to be in there with. I'm not saying that. He should be in there with who he's supposed to be in there with, right? But where he's at, because of his celebrity, the boxing space, I think, is well within their right to keep him humbled, to let him know he ain't that. There's nothing wrong with letting him know that you're having a good time and you're talking about, but when Jake Paul at the end of his conversation is saying, I want Canelo Alvarez, you know what I'm saying, next, I want to make these fights, then the boxing space has every right to humble him and let him know, no, Negro, you out your, well, not Negro, but no, man, you are not in the conversation of Canelo. And when he says things like that, he puts himself in the light as somebody in the same conversation as Edgar Berlanga, who are, Edgar Berlanga or Diego Pacheco and all these people who are below Canelo Alvarez, who are trying to get the opportunities to fight Canelo Alvarez because they're actually working inside of that structure. Him trying to supersede and jump over all of that and use his celebrity to get in those kind of fights puts the boxing space well within their right to humble him and let him be known. Not only let him know, but let the casual fans that are coming into the space know, who are maybe in here because of Jake Paul, to let them know that this guy ain't him. Don't let him fool you. He's not him. He's not staying his lane as an amateur or as somebody who's a novice when he's talking about fighting Daniel Dubois, or when he's talking about beating up on Carl Froch, or when he's talking about beating up on people that we know are legitimate boxers who've earned their right to be in the conversations that they are. So he sticks himself in that, which I know he's aware of it, and that's why he does it.
But that's because he's just selling it, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are holding him accountable because of his celebrity.
But look, Keyshawn Davis the other day called out Tank Davis, and the whole boxing space humbled him.
But Clay, in Tank Davis' 8th fight, his 8th fight.
Let me see, because you be doing this shit. Let me see what the hell this dude did.
Go ahead and check him out. His name is Hector Lopez.
Let me look at him.
You got him?
8th fight. I'm almost there. 3, 3, 2. Yeah, there he is, Hector.
In Tank Davis's 8th fight, he fought a guy by the name of Hector Lopez.
Right.
What's his record, Clay?
0-1.
What did he finish his career with?
0-1. Yeah. But he wasn't headlining the card, and if Tank Davis in this fight where he fought in 132 pounds, he fought at 132 pounds. That's what he came in weighing. If he would have came in this fight right here, being like he wanted to fight, what was this, 2014? So was Terrence there in 2014 at 130, 135, 130?
Might have been.
Terrence was. If he would have been like, I want to fight Terrence, everybody would have laughed him out the park. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro?
Right. They would have laughed,
right.
but we know it's not realistic. So that's what I'm saying. We know what Jake is not realistic. It's just that he's celebrity. Remove his celebrity.
Well, okay, how about this? If he wasn't a celebrity and he was to call out Canelo Alvarez,
we would be like, bro, that's not realistic. We do the same
what
thing.
boxing space is doing right now. He has a celebrity, but it's not realistic.
No, but in the same token, he's using his celebrity for good. Because he's a
Now that's a
celebrity.
separate conversation. I agreed. I'm there.
No, but
I'm
what
there
I'm saying is he's using his celebrity to actually bring awareness to these fighters and being an actual promoter. He's not he's running his mouth because he's a social media star turned professional boxer. That's how you know how to make his money.
Around that time, he was fighting Ricky Burns. He was, you know what I mean? He was fighting
Think
for a
about
title.
this, Clay.
Right.
Years ago, Ryan Garcia was calling out Tank when he was like 21, 20 years old.
Right.
Tank was already a world champion. Why? Because Ryan Garcia had a social media presence. Ryan Garcia has still yet to fight for official world title and become a world champion.
Right. Facts.
He's still yet to do it. But he's one of the most celebrated boxers in boxing.
Nah, I just sorry, Jake Paul's just
sorry. So what I'm saying right now, Kamel Moten, right?
I can't do it.
No, so what Kamel Moten, who's he fighting right now? You don't know who he's fighting.
Kamel fighting boxers. He fighting boxers.
But how do you know they're boxers though, Clay?
Because they have records. Well, let's pull them up. Now, Kamel.
Let's look at Kamel Moten then.
Let's look at Kamel. No, you bugging with Kamel, bro. You going too far with Kamel, bro. You doing too much.
Okay.
Look, everybody who he's fighting, bro, 4-0, 3-0, 7-0, 9-8, 5-2, 4-5, 11-6. That's he's getting ready to fight Brian Mercado. Ooh. But yeah, he fought all fighters with legitimate, you know what I mean, records. And if I pull up this first fighter, Ezekiel Flores, I'll pull up his amateur. Well, yeah, he got one fight.
Wait. How you find his box rate?
It's up there, Kamel Moten. It's under Kamel Moten. Are you spelling it right? Curmel.
Yeah, no, I'm on it, but it's only showing me his amateur box rate.
Let me go back. Let me find him. Kamel Moten. No, I'm looking at his professional record. He's six wins, 5 knockouts. Right here. You know what I mean? Hunter Tiberial. Let's see what Tuberfield has no amateur background. He has no amateur background. But he has 4 wins, 1 knockout, 2 losses. All the guys he fought had winning records. You know what I mean? Anthony Cuba, 7 wins, 3 KOs. Only loss he has is against.
Why is mine's going to this?
I don't. You're on your phone, so hit that the 3 bars up on the top left corner and make sure it's on Pro. Let me pull it up on my phone and see what it looks like on my phone. Because I'm looking on my computer, obviously. Let me see what it looks like on my phone. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you straight up though. For me, no matter what, Jake Paul ain't getting that type of respect from me.
No, I'm not saying that he's on the level of Canelo or none of these dudes. What I'm saying
he's not on the level of he's not on the same trajectory as boxers, in my opinion. I don't feel like he is. I feel like he's on a unique trajectory he can be on because he's Jake Paul, which is okay. But he's not on the same trajectory as these other fighters who are working in their, you know, not only as far as who they're fighting against being matched up with them based on their experience, but also their age, everything. Hold on a second, though. Let me pull them up. They get a lot more leeway. Kamel Moten gets leeway. If he fought somebody who was like whack at 18 years old, I'm not going to put the same pressure I put on a 30-year-old or 27, 28-year-old Jake Paul who's fighting headlines. Here we go. Kamel Moten. Yeah, I got mine came up. I don't know why yours is doing that. My head is right there. Here's mine.
Mine's
Boxing Pro. Yeah, right there. You see, you don't have that tab there right under it that says pro, amateur. I mean, I know you know how to work it, but
yeah, mine's is tripping.
You see, box record then kicked you out. Then kicked you out of the conversation because you playing with Jake.
No, I'm
got Jake.
I'm just
Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Jalen. I think I got like 4 people who've been holding me down in the chat. I appreciate all of you guys.
They only saying that because they don't like Jake Paul.
I got like 4 or 5 solid riders in the building right now that hold me down. Shout out to you guys. Like my this comedian said, I only need 10 real ninjas on my side. I take a whole army. I don't need everybody. I just need 10 real ones. 10 real ones is all I need.
Mine's is tripping, Clay.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, BoxRec hear you talking crazy today, bro. BoxRec's like, yo, pull this dude's BoxRec card, bro.
I'm saying, you know what, Jalen? Just for that, I'm gonna pull up Errol Spence now. Just for that, Jalen.
Errol ain't got nothing. Now Errol got to catch a stray.
Yeah. Just because Jalen said that, I'm pulling up Errol Spence first 10 fights.
Errol somewhere right now sipping on a damn mojito, choking on a mojito. Like, how did I get involved in this?
I'm pulling up Errol Spence first 10 fights.
He said he about to pull up my record. How I get involved in this? Hold on a second, bro.
Hold on now. Yo, Errol was getting busy, Clay.
Okay, there we go. I'm glad, bro. I was feeling bad. I thought something was gonna come up about him.
Nah, Errol. Wow.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
When Errol say he don't do no tune-ups, he meant that. His first fight as a professional, he fought a dude with 6 fights. His second fight he was 3-3. Second fight as a professional, he fought Richard Andrews. Dude had 5 wins, 2 losses. His third fight, he fought Nathan Butcher, only had 1 fight, 1 loss. Fourth fight, he fought a guy 4 wins, 2 losses. Fifth fight, he fought a guy 16 wins and 4 losses. Sixth fight, 11 wins, 3 losses. Seventh fight, 4 wins, 4 losses. Eighth fight, 5 wins, 3 losses. Ninth fight, he fought Lottie.
That's why Jake Paul need to take notes, man, and see what a real champion do to get the way he need to be at, man. You know what I'm saying? Jalen said spent somewhere in the gym. My bad. You right, Queen. My bad. I had him drinking a mojito, right? I was just saying he was chilling. That's why I'm saying, Jalen. He chilling. That's what I was saying. I ain't mean to make it sound like, you know what I mean? I'm sure he in the gym, you know what I mean, drinking on a bottle of Gatorade or something. I'm just saying he relaxing, you know what I'm saying? Chilling. That's all.
Errol different, bro. He fought a man who
made my baby sound like he in the club somewhere. Don't do that. Don't put my baby in the club. That's not where he at. He ain't in the club. Don't do that.
Damn. This dude fought Emmanuel Latte with 8 fights. That's insane, bro. Yo, that's insane. And never fought a guy with a losing record ever since.
So at the end of the day, back to what we're talking about.
He's an exception. No, hell no.
No, at the end of the day, real fighters do real things. That's what I'm saying.
Errol was an exception.
On the road to riches and diamond rings. On the road to riches and diamond rings. Bro, real ninjas do real things. He need to do some real things, man.
Yo, Errol's an exception, bro. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
He got to do something. Jake, okay, look, man, forget about what he did in the past. After this fight with Mike Tyson that he just had.
Before we continue, I just got to say this is freaking amazing, bro.
You mean his record?
Yo, Emmanuel Latte with 8 wins, 8 fights. Latte was 15 wins and no losses.
Let me pull him up.
Then he beat Latte. Then he fought Cuevas, 17 wins, 11 losses. Then he fought Usyk, 12 wins, 6 losses. Then he fought Raymond Charles, 12 wins, 2 losses. Then he fought Ronald Cruz, 20 wins, 3 losses. Then he fought Bolognese, 24 wins, 10 losses. Then he fought Castro, 27 wins, 7 losses.
And he getting stops. And he ain't going to.
Yeah, and he getting stops. Then he fought Samuel Vargas. Damn. 20 wins, 1 loss.
Stopped him in the 4th. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
That's insane. Then he fought LaGreco, 26 wins, 1 loss.
Got him out in the 3rd. Get him out of here.
Chris Van Hernen, 23 wins, 1 loss.
8th round knockout. Get him out of here.
26 wins, 2 losses. Then Chris Algieri, 21 wins, 2 losses. Then Leonard Bundu, 33 wins, 1 loss. Kell Brooks, 36 wins, 1 loss. Lamont Peterson, 35 wins, 3 losses. Carlos Ocampo, 20 wins, 22 wins, no losses. Mikey Garcia, 39 wins, no loss, no draw. Sean Porter, 30 wins, 2 losses. Danny Garcia, 36 wins, 2 losses. Yordanis Ugas, 27 God damn. That's insane.
I thought, Guillermo Maldonado was up in there. I'm like, Guillermo, I don't know why I just automatically started thinking about Zerto.
Insane, bro.
I was like, Zerto in the building?
Yo, his record is straight legit. There ain't no fluff on his record.
Exactly. You ain't gonna confuse this record with no Jake Paul, bro.
No,
You're not gonna bring up no Jake Paul.
That was a bad idea to try to pull his card.
That's what you did to yourself. You did that to you, bro.
I did that to myself. Sure did.
Sure
You know what I'm saying?
I know Jalen sitting up in there. Yeah. And next time you say his name, put some respect on it. Jalen sitting up in there feeling proud as hell, like playing with my boy. Next time you say his name, put some respect on it.
That's insane, bro.
It is what it is. But look,
that's insane.
But Jake Paul's next fight, because of this fight that he just did with Mike Tyson, with 58-year-old national treasure to boxing, you know what I mean? National treasure, bro, to the boxing community. Because of this fight that he did, his next fight has to mean something, bro. If he wants the boxing community to embrace him in any kind of way, his next fight needs to mean something. It can't be
okay. So if his next fight is Villanueva, you cool with that?
No.
Why not?
I'd have been cool with that before, Mike, because he took a shot. He took a shot at Legacy. He threw a shot at Legacy. He punched on Legacy, that's what's up. Mike is a grown man.
He punched on Legacy as well.
He punched on Legacy, brother. He punched on Legacy. We can't let that slide. We appreciate you, Jake Paul, for what you did and the platforms you opened up, but there's still a crime that's been committed, and we must hold him accountable. Although there were some great things that came from it, the crime still was egregious. You know what I'm saying? And this man has to do something in his next fight to get it back, bro. In front of our face, bro, in front of 65 million people, he punched on Legacy, bro. He punched on Legacy. Am I lying? You laughing. You think this is funny, Blue? You think this is funny, bro? This ain't a game, bro. This man has to be held accountable, bro. No, Jake Paul has to be held accountable. He took his shot. He got his money. God bless him. He made his money, but that man crossed a certain line, and it is what it is. We don't respect Mike Tyson, but this man has to do something in his next fight, bro. He has to do something in his next fight, bro. You can't let that slide, bro. You can't push. You can't allow that to just lay like as is. You can't allow that to lay as is, man. Hey, bro, it is. Yo, Chad, am I lying? We ain't gonna act like that man ain't punch on some Legacy, bro. Like he ain't act like, and then walked off, and he got to walk away with the accolades of carrying Mike Tyson. He got to walk away with all those accolades, sit on the stage. I don't want to hurt somebody that don't need to be hurt. He tried to make himself sound like the Terminator.
Yo, now I see why. Now I see what happened. Yo, man, he punched on Mike.
Yo, he did, bro. Thank you, Jacob. He got to do something. Bro. He got to know it don't come for free. It come with a price. It come with a price. What he did comes with a price, bro. You got paid, but it comes with a price, man.
Oh, snap. Yo.
I got to stop, man. This is serious business.
Jake got to pay for that punching on Legacy.
He didn't do that. That's not what he did, bro. He got an opportunity. Come on, man. That's what he did, bro. In front of the world, Craig. What are you talking about, bro? In front of the whole entire world. He did that shit, bro. And he ain't finna let that slide. Like, it is what it is. 65 million people, bro. There's 65 million people, bro. I mean, it is what it is. I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative for what he's done. I'm appreciative for what he provided and that he was part of that rollout. But at the end of the day, bro, listen, man.
Gotta get this
do the crime, you gotta do the time, man. You gotta make it right. You gotta make. The only way Jake Paul makes this right is by his next fight meaning something. His next fight gotta mean something, or this will never be right. This will never be right, bro. This will not age well for Jake Paul if he does not make his next fight. No, it will not age well. I'm telling the truth.
Yo, Jake gotta pay. Yo.
He don't? Run that by your family members and see if they lie. They're gonna look at him like he ain't lying.
Yo, I ain't mad at
you though, but he ain't lying though.
Yo, I ain't mad at you at all. Hey,
His
yo,
next
you
fight
see
gotta
what I
mean something.
said? I want to see him fight Andre Ward.
Yeah, like Andre Ward, pull up, even like Carl Frotz, somebody, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you did that. Thank you. But at the same time, no, brother, we're not finna let that slide like that.
Yo, we got to do it for the culture.
Like that.
You got to do it for the culture, Clay.
Yo, if he can, he gonna have to show. You have to show and prove. You got to show and prove. If he listen, bro, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out in his next fight. We're gonna find out what kind of business Jake Paul's standing on and who he really is, bro. If he's gonna acknowledge it, he got to do what he's supposed to do, bro. Period.
Yo, oh snap.
Exactly, Brandon Broussard. You know what it is, man.
Yo, I'm in tears, bro.
It is what it is, man.
Salute to my brother Brandon Broussard in the super chat, dropping that half a dub on us in the super chat. Yo, Clay, Blue, he said, yo, Blue, Clay Wildin punched on Legacy. Yo, punched on Legacy.
He gotta know what he did. He gotta know what he did. Sometimes people don't know what they do, and it's up to the boxing space to let him know what he did. It's up to the boxing space to let Jake Paul know what he did, bro, and the violation that was intertwined in the great thing that happened on Friday night. But there was a violation intertwined in that great thing, and he can be held accountable for that, and he can show the boxing space that he recognizes that he may have taken a few steps back as far as his boxing career is concerned, and he can show the space of how real of a dude he is and how much of a boxer he wants us, how seriously he wants us to take him as a boxer by making his next fight that much more epic. And he knows the kind of fight that the boxing space wants to see. He knows we don't want to see Conor McGregor. We don't want to see no nonsense. He knows we want to see a fight. He's got over 8 to 10 fighters right now calling him out, from Artur Beterbiev to Carl Froch to Edgar Berlanga to anybody who's anywhere near his weight class is looking at the payday. But real fighters are actually looking to fight Jake Paul right now, and I expect him to capitalize on this moment and do something special for himself if he wants me to take him seriously. Now, if you don't care about me taking you seriously, your next fight is going to let me know and is going to let the world know what kind of fighter Jake Paul wants us to look at him as. A legitimate boxer who wants to get himself in a conversation of fighting these people he's talking about, or whether or not he wants us to treat him like KSI and all those other guys who stay in their lane. And you stay your ass in that lane if that's where you're going to be at.
Yeah. Salute to J. Petty City, my brother in the super chat. Oh man, he said Tyson got to get that loss annulled.
Yeah.
That don't sit right with me. Let me put the link in the chat. Yeah, that loss don't sit right. Like that don't sit.
No, it shouldn't be on his record. And that's another thing that Jake Paul's a part of. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, that's why I said the conversation of the fight, the conversation of the actual fight is separate from the conversation of the event, because the fight deserves to be under the microscope and scrutinized to the degree it's being scrutinized. It deserves it. He knows it was coming with it. This is part of the game, which is why he didn't go for the knockout for real. And he understood, like, this is not going to work out for me. But in the spirit of the event being as epic as it was, I respect it. Mike was part of it. He's a grown man. He signed the paperwork. That's what he wanted to do. But Jake Paul, if your career means something to you and you want us to take you seriously, and you want us to give you this respect, and you want the space to recognize you, your next move better be your best move.
So if he fight Francisco Villanueva, he don't get no credit for that?
No. He would have if he would have did it before Mike. And once you put hands on Mike, once you touch Mike, change the whole conversation, bro. Once you put hands on Mike, bro, it changed the whole game plan up, bro. No more shorts. We're not playing with you no more. I'm not gonna keep saying punched on Legacy because I already know it triggers people, but you done did the unforgivable. Yeah. And now it's on from here. You need to move forward and make it count, bro.
I ain't mad at that. Little Rock Legends of Boxing, my brother in the super chat. He said fire stick for Jake. Stop paying fire stick, boy.
Until he fights somebody, for sure. Until he fights somebody, we done with him. No more money.
Yo. Salute to Mello in the super chat.
Carl, what's good, family?
Fella.
He said, whole time, Clay feeling like Tank. Hashtag revenge.
Hey, Clay. Hey, Clay, you was cooking, man. You was cooking.
I was
You was
trying.
cooking tonight. Hey, Blue, you gotta take that L. You gotta take that L.
I ain't take no L,
I'm
man.
only playing with you though, Blue. But hey, yo, hey,
Hey,
Blue. I was gonna bring up Blue. Take that L, Blue. Blue, take that L, man.
ain't no L.
Clay, Clay,
So I
Clay,
gotta say, tell him, let
Clay,
Clay get one,
cooking.
man. Let Clay get one.
It's the
Oh
truth.
yeah, Clay
Well,
got that clearly. That's unanimous decision on that one. Yeah,
man,
I ain't gonna say he knocked you out, but unanimous.
bro, all I did was tell the truth. He's a novice, and that's a celebrity. That's it. That's all.
But Blue, cause
He's a
you know me, you know I be hitting you up on Instagram. That's why I was hitting you up. But tell Clay, I said tell Clay I agree with him. But look, another thing I wanted to say about the Canelo comparison. Um, you got to think about Clay was. I mean, oh my bad, Clay. You really won. But um, Canelo's at a lighter weight class, and the reason why I say people holding Jake to that standard because you got to think about it. His first fight was pay per view. They made us pay for that,
but
so
again,
he do got to give us.
yeah, but you holding him
You know what I'm
accountable.
saying? He got to give us something.
Yeah, but you holding him accountable
He
for
got to
his.
give us something.
You holding him accountable
My
for
bad.
his celebrity status, though. That he's not. He's still fighting
No,
fighters at his level. It's just a celebrity. That's it.
no, Blue, because I see. That's why I said Clay got it unanimous because you got to think about it. He ain't fighting fighters, but when he did fight a fighter, he lost.
And Canelo did
So
too.
revenge,
Canelo did too. He
no, but
fought the first time Canelo fought a guy with Jake Paul lost to a guy that was
now watch
undefeated.
this.
Jake Paul lost to a guy that was undefeated from a fighting family. Canelo Alvarez
No, Blue,
he had a draw with a guy that had 3 wins and 6 losses. What are you talking about?
don't try to mash them down, though, Blue. Don't try to mash them down because we ain't never been mashing boxing and MMA together. And athletes, nope, boxing is his own sport. Remember, boxing is the wild, wild west. Remember,
You ain't
Blue.
pay attention. I just said
No,
Tommy Fury.
I am.
Tommy Fury is not a UFC fighter. He's a boxer.
I ain't talking about Tommy Fury. I'm talking about everybody else. The
No,
basketball
no, no,
player,
no, no,
the
no, no, no,
UFC
no,
player,
no, no.
the guy that came in fat like he.
You said the first time he fought a real boxer, he lost. I said the same thing happened to Canelo. The first time he fought a guy that was a boxer that had experience, he had a draw. Both in their
But
8
Tommy
fights.
Fury.
Tommy Fury was
Wait.
undefeated.
You talking
Tommy Fury
no, I
fought.
get that. But Tommy Fury,
Jake Paul fought a better fighter.
you said Tommy Fury was the better fighter. See, Blue. The reason why we can't use that because we know. Oh, another thing. It gonna hurt, Blue.
What you
You gotta
mean?
stop while you ahead. Look, this right here. I ain't even gonna go nowhere else. I'm gonna stop right here. The thing about thing about Jake Paul that every other boxer, um, what Jake Paul didn't have to go through. Tell me a fight that I don't care. Now I don't even care who he fought. Tell me a fight that Jake Paul went in that we know that he had to get down to a certain weight. We know he had to struggle to make weight and then come in and fight the next day. Any boxer. I mean, it don't gotta be a boxer. It could be an MMA fighter, man.
No, that you don't have to do that in
Blue,
the heavy.
blue.
You don't have to.
Every fighter gonna do them stages.
You don't have to do that in the heavyweight division. You want me to give you the heavyweights first 10 fights? They don't have to cut
Blue,
weight.
Blue. Jake started off the heavyweight.
No, it doesn't matter. What you're saying
Wait,
doesn't
Blue.
cutting
Yes,
weight.
it do.
Clay,
Blue,
call.
he came like you said.
Cutting weight has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. They professional athletes. Period. So they cut weight.
Who a professional athlete?
Because he
Wait,
did
who a
it
professional athlete?
just because he did it at a higher weight class, don't make it different. What are you talking about?
No, but when you go comparing to, you say you compare that dude that was
Canelo did it
that
at a higher
Canelo.
weight than Errol Spence. Errol Spence got a better resume, and Canelo did it at a higher weight class. What does that mean? Nothing.
But I check this out then, Blue. Cause look, you always trying to make it seem like I'm trying to argue. I'm just uh, looking at it from what I see, and not even trying to hate on Clay. I mean, not my bad, Clay. I mean, not even trying to hate on Jake.
I'll be catching these strays, man.
I'm just saying that Jake ain't put in no training camp like we know boxing. We like
Huh?
we say what we want to say about boxing,
Yes,
but
he
we
did.
know guys that no.
He trains
I'm
with real.
talking. I'm
He
talking
trains with
about
real
getting down
trainers.
to a certain weight.
Bro,
Bro,
you do, bro. Stop saying that.
I'm talking about getting down to a certain weight.
Stop saying that.
The reason
Yes,
why I can
he had
say
to,
that, Blue,
Claw,
Blue, the
stop
reason
saying
why I
that.
can say
He had
that,
to cut.
what
Claw,
Canelo
Claw,
fighting at?
he cut weight to fight at the weight class he was fighting in. Yes, he did. He was nearly 200 pounds, brother. Yes, he had to cut weight. Just
Okay,
like
I
everybody
mean,
else.
that, honestly, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm just feeling, but I could be wrong about that. But I'm still saying that, like, I ain't gonna lie, and I'm feeling just like 95%, including you too, Blue. You just ain't gonna admit it. Mike Tyson was not 48, not 38. This man was 58
I never,
years old.
bro. Stop,
You know what I did, Blue?
I gotta
Ask my wife.
stop.
Wait, Blue. I ain't arguing.
My guy,
I'm not
stop.
arguing with you, but chill. Listen, I say something to you.
Bro, just listen. Y'all be having a
Talking about.
completely different. The argument has nothing to do with
Blue,
what
I ain't even arguing with you. I was about to say something
I
else.
didn't say your argument. I said your
Yeah,
argument.
I was about to say, like, ask my
Right.
wife. I didn't even look at this
Listen.
fight.
Just
I
listen.
swear to God, cut that shit
Just
off.
listen.
My bad for cursing, but
He had to cut weight. First of all, he's with real trainers and real boxing minds. He's not with
right.
some gimmick. That's number one.
You know what?
Number two is that I never said him and Mike Tyson was a legit fight. I never said that. I said his first Mike Tyson. If people pay attention to what I said, Mike Tyson is his 11th fight. I said his first 10 fights as a professional is no different than any other professional boxer outside of with a handful of fighters like Errol Spence, Keyshawn Davis, Vasil Lomachenko.
That's why I'm
talking about
the
first 10 fights of any boxer's career is trash. And you do not know Tank Davis in his 8th fight fought a guy who made his debut. He had one fight and he never ever fought again. That's who Tank Davis fought in his
Blue, remember that time when I ain't worried about Tank. Look, remember that time
what's
when
the difference between that guy that never
Blue,
who never fought, had one fight with Tank and never fought again? What's the difference between him and Nate Robinson? Because you know who Nate Robinson is. If you didn't know,
Blue, is Nate Robinson's a basketball player.
So what is
Blue, we know Nate Robinson.
Brother.
We never thought that Nate Robinson was
Stop. The guy Tank fought, what did he do for a living? What does he do for a living?
We not even talking about that. We on Jake.
Brother.
I ain't even worried about them. I'm talking about you just debunked your own self earlier when you said that Earl Smith first 10 fights.
Brother, please
you stopped at 8. You didn't even
what does the dude
Blue,
do?
you act like I'm telling you
brother, listen. What does the dude do that Tank Davis fought
that
only had one fight in his entire career? What does he do for a living?
I don't know.
Exactly. How the hell you know if he a basketball player? For all you know, he could be working at Walmart and never had an amateur background. You don't know nothing about that man. Nothing.
But
so you're assuming that he has a boxing pedigree.
No, but we know that guy as boxing because that's all we know him as. We know Nate Robinson as playing basketball. Wait, Blue, wait. We know Nate Robinson as playing basketball because that's what we know him as. That's when we first seen him. Because that's when we first seen him. That's when he presented himself to us as a boxer. Nate Robinson presented himself as an NBA superstar. Nowhere near a boxing match.
Boxing fan had.
So you can't do that, Blue.
It has
you can't do that, Blue. Stop saying that when you lose, man.
The lowest IQ of all fans in all of sports. You don't
so, Blue, what I just said, it don't make sense.
You don't know what this
wait. When you say that about me,
did for a living.
Wait, what I said don't make sense.
Brother, you don't know what this man did for a living. For
all
you know,
what I said makes sense.
You know he's a boxer. How?
Blue, I said what I said it made sense. Look, listen. I said what I said makes sense. I said when we first seen that guy, he presented himself as a boxer. He fighting Tank Davis, like you said. He was
You watch that
he was
fight?
0-0, whatever,
watch that
0
fight?
whatever.
Did you watch that fight?
No, but you didn't either. But
So
look,
you said that he
check
presented
this out, Blue.
himself. How do you know how he presented himself? You don't even know who he is. What's his name? What's his name, Carl?
Listen, Blue.
What's his name?
Blue, remember you said common sense.
Oh,
Look,
what's his
Blue,
name?
remember you said common sense.
What's
I'm
his
about to get there,
name?
but look, Blue. Remember you
What's
said
his
common
name?
sense ain't so common. Look. I just said this guy presented himself as a boxer because the first time I seen him and the first time you seen him was in a boxing ring. That's what you. So we know him as a boxer, no matter what his record
That
was.
makes him a boxer?
But we know Nick Robinson.
Does that make
But
him a
Blue, we know
boxer?
Nick Robinson. Okay, no, he's not a boxer. But what we know Nick Robinson at?
Hey, I would
But what we
like
know
to have
Nick
a word with
Robinson
Blue
at?
once you're done.
Oh, Jesus Christ! But yo,
Yeah, go ahead. But
Hey, Carl,
Blue, my IQ is up to yours not.
Hey, do you know?
Go ahead, what do you want to tell me? Blue? I'm good. I'm good.
Bro, just listen. Listen to this. Do you know? What's his name? Johnson. What the hell's his name? What team he play for? Hold on. I'm gonna show you something. This is the stupidity in boxing. Boxing
Get
is
his
just
name right, Blue.
stupid. It's out of this world.
Blue, ain't
You can't
nobody
make it
stupid.
up.
Blue, chill out, man. Like, thing.
I didn't say you're stupid. I'm
Blue,
saying
if you could say I don't make sense,
I'm not saying you're
but
stupid.
Blue,
I'm
if you
saying
could
the
say what I
mindset-
said don't
the
make sense,
mindset-
then I'll say I am what you say, what you
But
thought.
there's a dude right now that's he could be a professional MMA player. He is a 3-time black belt and brown belt. He plays in the
And you
NBA.
don't know his name. Blue.
No,
You don't know his name, do you?
Johnson. I know his last name is Johnson. Somebody tell me what James Johnson. Thank you.
But if you could say I don't make sense,
27 wins.
if you could say I don't make sense, then I can agree with you. But do I make sense what I said?
Bro, please stop. He is.
But do I make sense what I said though?
Bro, he is a
That's what I'm asking.
professional.
You act like I'm saying something back. I'm asking you one question. Do I make sense what I said?
Brother, are you in the business of listening? James Johnson is a mixed martial
Blue,
artist.
I got a delay too. So if when I'm saying something, mine's be coming in as a delay. So I want you to think that. Listen. It may seem like I'm cutting you off, but I got a delay. You know I got a delay. Every time I get on, I got a delay.
Right.
So you know what I mean? I'm not cutting you off. It's just when I say something, mine's come a little late.
James Johnson is a he.
But I always wanted to say something to you real quick, Blue. I like to enjoy the show too.
Carl, listen to this. James Johnson, do you know who he is? He plays in the NBA. He plays in the NBA. Me and Ness had an altercation with him, right? This dude is like a 3-time black belt. He's a mixed martial artist. He could be in the UFC right now, but he plays in the NBA.
Just like Jaylen Brown.
If he fought in combat sports, you're gonna be like, he ain't he because you don't know his walk of life is the NBA. He chose that.
Blue,
that does not mean.
But Blue,
that does not, right, Carl.
See, Blue, you trying to choose. But Blue, you trying to choose that to use that. You trying to use that for boxing talk. But if anybody else tried to use that, you will get on them. Blue, you know you wrong for trying to do that.
Can I make my point?
Let him talk. Hold on. Let me get this.
My bad.
Salute to LT, my brother in the super chat. Salute to my brother LT in the super chat. Dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. He said, panel now. Sorry, Blue. I still think someone who only boxes would beat a retired MMA fighter who leans on martial arts background. I'm not saying they wouldn't. What I'm saying is this: as a novice, you don't even know what these guys do in their walk of life. The reason I even brought up the guy on Tank and Canelo Alvarez, look where they are right now compared to where they fought in their first 10 fights.
Can I say something?
We are holding him accountable in his first 10 fights like he's one of them. He's not on their level. He's not on their level. I never said he was on their level.
Didn't Jake just call Canelo out? Didn't he just say Canelo did get the thing with me?
Can I push back on you, Blue?
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to kind of just constructively push back. I don't want to yell none of that stuff. But so here's my thing.
My bad.
The way that I
My bad.
this is the way that I see it, right? Um, okay. Have you ever met somebody that mixes the truth with the lie? Blue, you heard me, Blue?
Whoa, do you hear him?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm listening
Okay.
to you.
Yeah. So how I view the Jake Paul situation is this: I understand if Jake Paul keeps it as a spectacle, I get it. I have no problems. The problem is that we're blurring the lines too much in today's society. And so what happens is that to the generation coming up, they're not going to be able to differentiate real from unreal. So if we're going to talk purely from a monetary standpoint, I get it. But let's be honest though. Jake Paul has a deal with Netflix. Netflix paid the money. I'll guarantee you, I work with Netflix. I have worked with Netflix in the past. Okay. Everybody has different types of deals that are structured. So I think we're giving Jake, okay, I applaud Jake Paul for being a businessman and an entrepreneur. But let's make this clear. Netflix is the financier. Netflix is cutting the checks. Great job. Here is the reality though. When my son sees that, what am I supposed to say? Son, go be a streamer first and get your following up, and hopefully the algorithm chooses you and push you on a pedestal, because these are the things that no one's talking about. All we're looking at is just how big and massive Jake Paul is coming into the game. Yeah, but it's equivalent to Kai Cenat, right? I mean, the reality is that they figured something out. They understood, hey, how can we milk people? The boxing establishment created this type of situation, of course. So they are to blame to a degree. But also the people who are supporting it also are to blame to a degree. Because here's the reality. After the Jake Paul fight, do you know that most of the platforms, they're all talking about Jake Paul? I don't hear no one really talking about the Taylor Serrano fight, really. I don't hear nobody really talking about the Barrios fight. I don't hear no one talking about the Hitchison fight. I mean, Shushu fight. I don't hear any of that, right? Because the reality is this: as much as we want to say it's pushing boxing forward, it really it's a give and take. It's a love and hate, because there are positives about it, but there's a lot of negatives. But no one's highlighting the negatives. Listen, I have Netflix. Let's keep this thing real, man. Netflix is in most people's homes. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know if it's going to do. If when you log into Netflix, it's the first thing you see. And let's be real, Mike Tyson, even my daughter, who's 12 years old, my son, who's 8 years old, do you know they came to me and you know what name they mentioned? Hey, Mike Tyson's fighting this Friday? And I'm like, oh, wow. Mike Tyson sold his legacy. He sold he legitimized Jake Paul for $20 million. This is the reality. Because at the end of the day, if it was truly what we say it was, why did it have to be to a point to where Mike Tyson had to take an L against his record? Let it be what it was. But guess what? It had to be that way to legitimize and to make people believe and buy into the idea that Mike Tyson had a chance. Now, this is what I will say, though. If you watch that fight carefully, if Jake Paul really was a true salesman, Jake Paul would have stood in the pocket with Mike Tyson. And let me tell you the reason why. I don't believe Mike Tyson was capable of beating Jake Paul over the course of the full fight. But I think Jake Paul felt Mike Tyson's power in glimpses and was like, yo, I don't want to take any chances. He fought Mike Tyson in a way that I really didn't expect him to fight him, because I'm like, bro, the dude had 8 transfusions, blood transfusion. The dude could barely walk. The dude had a stroke. We know if you just muscle up for a moment, just weather the storm, give us something to believe in. No, you moved around. You called a 58-year-old man to chase you around the ring. That didn't look cool. And you know what my children said? They looked at they just how you said, Blue. Oh, those girls, they fought great. But you know what? They were all really interested in the Mike Tyson. Now, for the hardcore fans, I got a kick out of the Barrios fight. I got a kick out of the Amanda, the Serrano fight. I got a kick out of all of that. But what I see the problem is this: mixing the garbage with the good, mixing the real with the unreal. And what it does is that it gives life to the unreal. So this is a very dangerous thing that we're playing with. And that's the problem. And I'm not blaming Jake because honestly, the Mayweather-McGregor fight, personally, I think kind of really officially kicked it off. But I think the revisiting of that, and they found something. And what they found is that you could terraform, change people's perception, because now guess what? You're creating a different type of fan. You're going to create a fan that no longer cares about the real way of getting to the top. You're going to create people that are going to be microwaved. So now all they want to do now is going to say this, oh, you know what? Because you have 10 million followers, you must be right. You must be great. You must be all of that. But guess what? No one wants to talk about bot farming. No one wants to talk about algorithms and machines choosing people, putting people in positions to say, this is your idol. This is who I want you to follow. Why? Because of the society that we live in. So all this praise that Jake Paul is getting, the problem is that, I'm going to be very honest with you, Blue. This is my personal opinion. The problem is this. When shows are being done on Jake Paul, what it's doing is legitimizing Jake Paul in an area that he doesn't really belong yet. He doesn't belong yet. He is trying to get legitimized, and Mike Tyson kicked it off by selling his record to Jake Paul. Now, guess what? It will forever be in history that Mike Tyson lost to Jake Paul, and it will forever be in history that Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. And do you know what? The only people who are really going to know are the people living it and understand and can see through the bull crap. The future, this is a sad game, man. And that's what I kind of see. And that's the only problem I have with the Jake Paul. And let's not even talk about the crap that Netflix, the production. I couldn't even watch it on Netflix. I had to go to a alternative platform, which I'm not going to say on your platform, to try to get the fight, because it was crashing beyond crashing beyond crashing. No one wants to talk about that. It was actually a horrible display, because if you want people to come to Netflix, what do you have to do if you're going to put on a biggest event? You got Mike Tyson. You're going to make sure that your screws are tight. You're going to make sure that everything is on point. They failed miserably at that. And that's what no one's talking about. They're only looking at the positive. Oh, 64 million people. Yeah, I mean, look at Netflix in itself. I mean, duh. Why wouldn't you think that? Marketing. What the boxing establishment need to do is start getting behind our fighters, putting money behind our fighters, making them, pumping them up, making them more than what they are, and we'll get the results. But no, they want to get everything for little, and that's the problem. That's my take.
Can I tap in?
For sure.
I agree with like most of the stuff that you said, right? And I'm be honest with you. What I grabbed from it is that no matter what happened with that event, if the boxing space doesn't capitalize on the positive things that the event did, then it's gonna be for no reason. You know what I mean? Jake Paul is gonna do the event. The undercard is gonna do that, and it's gonna perform. But if we're all going to choose to talk about the failures or the spectacle of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson over the actual fights on the card, over the actual event, and what the event can do for the future of boxing, if we don't speak about the Netflix crashing and those type of things. And listen, man, I acknowledge all those things, right? I think that Netflix probably didn't anticipate it doing as well as it did. They probably did. Keep in mind that Netflix is not a live platform. That's not really what they do like that. They do that from time to time. But when was the last time they did an event that got 65 million plus people watching it at the same time? So they have to learn how to manage that. They have to learn how to fix whatever it is in their servers and facilitate a space that can deal with an event of that magnitude. But still, I don't think the event was a failure or the production was bad in the spirit of saying like what the event was. The event itself was epic. The people who were at the event didn't experience the crashing. On the back end, the crashing was Netflix not being able to handle the amount of traffic they had. This also happened when Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao. This was very similar to what happened with them. There was a lot of people whose system was crashing, and the phone calls coming to the cable company was overwhelming the company to the point to where people were on hold for 3 hours, 2.5 hours to get an agent on there to help them get their whole entire pay-per-view kicking back up. So that was just the network crashing was actually a sign of how big the event was and how successful and how many people were really interested in watching the event. But it is up to the boxing community to capitalize on the positive things that came from the event, shine light on the fighters that won the undercard of the event, and then speak in an innovative way to say, well, what does this look like if PBC is putting an event on Netflix? What does this look like if Top Rank is putting an event on Netflix? Are these companies looking at what Netflix did and starting to look at themselves inside that business model and seeing a successful way to do a multitude of things? One of them, obviously, marketing and developing up and coming fighters to be the biggest fighters they can be. But also on another part of the conversation, Netflix was able to facilitate and give us these fights for free or for your Netflix subscription, right? So charging that $90 for the pay-per-view in a time where pay-per-views are being stolen on multiple different streaming platforms, this may have offered a solution to that problem and given these companies a way to evolve their business model into something that makes more sense, not only for the fighters on their rosters that they need to develop, but also for the fans that want to watch the fight and can't just sit there and keep on paying $90 for these events, right? And it also takes the pressure off of them to constantly focus all their energy on superstars, on people who they know can sell pay-per-views, and now they can start focusing their energy on the actual competition, to the legacy of fighting, to the championship quality, the competitive nature of the boxing game. Right. So there's so many different things that we can be talking about. I agree with you. And so many things that we need to talk about. This is a very interesting topic, way more interesting than Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fighting each other and how much of a spectacle that was. It's way deeper than that fight. But we're in a society and we're in a space where we can't see past our nose. Right. We can't get past the simple things so we can get into in-depth conversations, intelligent conversations. That's why Blue can put a title like this up on a screen and stir so much stuff up, right? Jake Paul runs boxing. The whole place is going crazy. What the hell are you writing on your... They're upset about a thumbnail, but they don't want to participate in a conversation like the one we're having here, because that's what it's all about. The question is Netflix going to be able to make the adjustments? Can they fix what it was? What was wrong with the event? Now, if that didn't happen with Netflix, if it didn't crash and the event had went through the way it's supposed to, that event would have been 100% successful. So we need to be able to talk outside the box, inside the box, on every level where this conversation needs to be, because we all should acknowledge, no matter what fighter you support, we should all acknowledge that we're all looking for a way to boxing to help boxing get bigger, and that boxing needs something to make it bigger. We need to be talking into this, manifesting this into what we want it to become, use this as a foundation to what it could be, and speak to it so it can grow and boxing can benefit from it. Because if we just shoot at this and just basically say Netflix should get out of boxing, they don't know what they're doing, well, then we're back to square one. And what's square one? Top Rank and ESPN are going in their separate directions. Amazon and PBC aren't rolling out these fights the way we think they should. And Turkey Al-Sheikh is trying to take the fights that you guys want to see happen in America over to Saudi Arabia. So at some point, we have to get on that same page and speak the right way about the opportunities that are in front of us, or we're going to lose boxing anyway. And like Donald Trump said, what do you got to lose? And boxing is in that space right now to where it's just not moving the way it used to move. And it's not going in the right direction. It's heading in the wrong direction if we don't figure this out sooner rather than later.
Agreed.
And I remember when people used to say they wanted boxing to be on Netflix a little while ago. I remember a couple of people used to saying that, like, yo, what if boxing go to Netflix? Like, and everybody got Netflix. So I thought that was a good idea. You know what I mean? Even then. So before even Jake did it, a couple of people used to be talking about, yo, what if boxing go to Netflix? You know what I mean? I don't know what panel was saying it, but I just remember a couple of panels saying that. Like, and I think it would have been good because we all got Netflix. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about that. I think it was just more about, like, Jake. He need to fight fighters. Like, if we gonna say that he's good, like he a boxer, give us some fights. We love boxing.
I think the PBC was in conversations at one point in time with Netflix, and they were trying to work something out, and I guess it didn't work out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it didn't go all the way through, or maybe they're still in negotiations with Netflix. Maybe they're still trying to figure some things out. That's what Steven Espinoza was saying, that there were conversations happening with them. But look, this event right here gave Netflix an opportunity to see what boxing could be. And I agree that it's only this big because of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, but still, Netflix had a successful event, all considering, with all the things that went bad and all the things that moved around. It still was a successful event. The whole boxing space is shaking and talking about this event. Unfortunately, they're not talking about it in the right way. They're kind of being negative towards it. But at the end of the day, it's in the conversation. It's up to the boxing content creation spaces. It's up to the boxing promotional companies like the PBC and Top Rank and all these different companies to see something in it and for them to communicate the possibilities, and Netflix to be like, you guys really interested in doing this? All right, let's see what we can do to facilitate this for all the boxing fans. Because Netflix showed that great things can happen, bro. If all the boxing community gets around Netflix is ready to showcase a lot of boxing. They can see the possibilities. 76,000 people inside the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Yeah, bro. That's not something you turn away from and say, yeah, that was trash. No, that's not helping boxing out. We need to find a better way to speak about this and speak towards the positive things and speak towards fixing the negative things, not just knocking the whole entire platform down.
I agree.
Salute to my brother Mello in the super chat, dropping that half a dub on the super chat. Man, Jake about to have people paying to watch him lose and win like Floyd. I think Jake was on pay-per-view before. Just a good dance partner. Floyd fights had buffering too. They did.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I think these conversations need to get deeper, and I hope that as the weeks go by, that they do get deeper. And I think they will get deeper the moment you hear PBC's negotiating with Netflix, and everybody's going to change their whole energy. Like, hold up, because I'm going to tell you right now, PBC getting a conversation with Netflix, you know what everybody's going to say? Shoot, PBC get on that shit that seen on 2-3 Fridays ago. Yo, PBC going to be back. That's what everybody going to say. They're going to be like, shoot, man, and PBC can, that's what everybody going to say. Everybody.
I don't think PBC left.
Huh? What?
I don't think PBC left. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't think PBC left. I think PBC still, like, really, like, I really think that the plans that they had put together, I think it was just a delay in their plans. I think they're gonna start rolling it out. Like, I don't think nobody will come out and say the things that they said just recent, because they never, PBC remind me of Earl. When they say something, they do it. And I ain't gonna hold you. They really do it. And that's why I'm like, dang, what happened to all that they was talking about? I even said that. But I'm like, you know what? Things like this happen in business. Things like this happen in business all the time. You think you be ready? I mean, you think you gonna put it out, but it's a delay.
Things happen in business, yes, but Steven Espinoza already communicated that there were entertaining conversations with other networks. That right there is just letting you know that they need more. Whatever they got going is what they got going, but they understand the need of more. They need additional help. They need more platforms. They need more airtime. Whatever it is that they need, if they had what they needed, they wouldn't be talking about more. They'd be working with Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So Netflix is a conversation that said that they were in conversation with. And for some reason, it's been a slow rollout for this Netflix deal with the PBC, as far as, I don't know if it's just thrown in the dirt or if it's still an ongoing thing going on. But this event on Friday puts perspective on boxing from Netflix's point of view. They got an opportunity to see a little bit of what it could be. And they got to be way more interested today than they were on Thursday or before this fight got put out.
A lot of networks is not involved in boxing. A lot of networks don't. I don't think they dig boxing like that. I ain't trying to like. You know, I just really think that
boxing. They about to start digging.
Yeah, I think it's really a one-off.
Feeling like,
I could be wrong. No, I would love for it to be on Netflix. What? I'm a homebody too.
But let me ask you a question though. What's the difference between Amazon Prime and Netflix though? Because here's the reality. Some people prefer Netflix, some people prefer Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime tends to carry I guess sometimes better content compared to Netflix. Netflix has become a little bit, saturated with a lot of stuff that ain't so great.
Can I tell you what the difference is?
Tell me.
The difference is Friday.
The difference is what?
What'd you say, Clay? The difference what?
The difference is Friday. What happened on Friday is the difference. That experience that Netflix has, Amazon hasn't necessarily had that experience yet with the BBC. They've had decent events, but they haven't had a mind-blowing experience like what Netflix have. Let Amazon's server get crashed because 65 million people are trying to watch that fight. And watch how Amazon changes their whole entire attitude toward this sport. Like, we better stop playing with this. This is the sport we need to be putting all our attention on. That's the difference.
But Amazon don't
Well,
really
for
have no
sure. I
problem.
mean,
I've been at Amazon.
well,
Amazon has an
oh, for
experience.
sure,
Amazon,
for sure.
I mean, Netflix has an experience that they've had with boxing that Amazon hasn't had the opportunity to have yet, or they haven't. I'll tell you this: that experience on Friday was so epic. Amazon might be like, yo, maybe we need to. Because Amazon sees boxing in a different way. Boxing sees boxing in a different way after that event on Friday. Turkey's sitting back like,
I mean, don't get it messed up. Don't get it messed up. Like, I think that was good. I just don't. I mean, like I said, I don't think that boxing is gonna go to Amazon. I think it makes too much sense. And boxing never do nothing that makes sense. It makes too much sense to go to Netflix. And I don't see boxing doing it. And I think
they're lost. Somebody is going to do. Jake
I
going to do
can't say that. Yeah, I think that was the one-off.
Right? That's where the loss happens, right? If PBC says, nah, I'm not feeling Netflix, and Top Rank goes, I'm not feeling Netflix, and Matchroom and Queensberry and all them guys say, I ain't feeling Netflix, well, then Jake Paul's going to rock out of Netflix. And now he's going to be once again in the conversation because he's going to be putting on the biggest events, and once again, Box is going to lose out to a YouTuber and be upset.
And that gives Drake his own lane to do what he want to do. Like whatever he's doing in boxing, like even if he do want to take on fights like that, let's just say if it goes the way you just said, Clay, and Jake pick it up, and Jake take his promotion company, he start dealing with Netflix. That gives him his own little bubble too. So that it do help out the sport. Or I mean, I ain't gonna say the sport, but it will help out Jake. But if Jake do that, that will give him his own lane, his own bubble, and everything.
Thank you, Aaron Taylor. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? But I, me personally, I don't think. Like I said, it makes too much sense. Just like everybody got Amazon, I ain't gonna hold you. Everybody got Netflix. It makes too much sense for boxing to go to Netflix, and that's why I think they're not gonna do it. Like real talk. Yeah. That's why I think it's not gonna happen.
Zeus says nobody's doing those numbers again because they won't fight each other's boxes, want to wait it out when most legends fought other legends at the age of 23. I appreciate what you're saying, Zoo. That is also part of the conversation as well, Zoo, is that this doesn't just happen with any fights. It happens with the right fights. And boxing, as far as the promoters are concerned, as far as these platforms, whatever it is, however you want to call it, these matchmakers need to start taking into consideration that they need to start matchmaking for the fans. Boxing needs to start focusing on giving the fans the fights that they want. That's also a big part of the conversation. The platforms, the marketing, all those things are part of it, but the actual matchmaking needs to improve in boxing. We need to see these guys fighting each other. And not only do we need to see these guys fighting each other, we need to see these guys fighting each other at the right time. Timing is everything. We want to see these guys not only fight each other, but we want to see them fight each other in their prime abilities, when they're the best versions of themselves. Too many times, great fights are being aged out, and then by the time we get the fights, they're not turning the way we thought they were going to turn. There's arguments out there to say that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence was an aged out fight. That is a fight that should have happened about a year to 2 years earlier, and that would have been a different version of Errol, a different version of Terrence, and a whole different level of boxing that happened in the ring. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather aged out, not at the right time. People are asking about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder right now, saying that they want to see that fight. That fight is past its time. That's not the time that fight was supposed to happen. If they get in the ring right now, it's not the same level of fight. You know what I mean? So the matchmakers need to participate in the idea of the fan base being fed what the fan base wants so that we can give them what they want, which is our money, right? So we can give them our money to see these fights.
And I think that fight would be over fast. And I think that fight would be over fast too. Even if Deontay Wilder and my God.
Anthony Joshua.
Anthony, I had a brain fart. Yo, even if Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight, 1-2 rounds, um, Wilder get him up out of there. Wilder knocks him out.
Maybe not.
Anthony
I'm being
Joshua,
honest with you. Maybe not.
yo,
Because Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua fight the way he fought Dubois, like from the beginning. I ain't gonna hold you, Clay. From the beginning of that fight, from the first time he came out, I swear to God, I'm like, ask my wife. I'm like, what, he about to take a dive or something? Like this, what I'm here looking at. I'm like, this not Anthony Joshua. I'm like,
But
this not Anthony Joshua.
Fights Anthony Joshua, if Deontay Wilder fights Anthony Joshua the way he fought Joe Parker. If he fights Anthony Joshua the way he fought
but Anthony Joshua,
right? And I'm going to tell you right now, no matter how that fight ends, people are going to question, and they're going to say these fighters are not the same versions of themselves as they were at the time we were trying to get them to fight. Right. And everybody's going to question what would have happened in that fight.
They do no main event. Like they like the first two fights if they is on the card. Like I'm expecting to say,
no matter how the results go, people are going to they're going to say that the fight was aged out. Even Gervonta Tank Davis and Lomachenko, right? They try to put that together. People took shots at the fight, right? They said Lomachenko was aged out. This is not the time the fight was supposed to happen. So timing makes a difference. These fights don't hold the same weight when they happen whenever the promoters want them to happen. Yeah, the promoters are trying to capitalize on the highest point as far as market value is concerned, right? But at the same exact time, that has to also meet somewhere around the area where the timing of the fight itself happens at the right time. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole lot of parts that stateside in America, boxing matchmaking needs to take on an old face. I was going to say a new face, but an old face. A time and period where the timing made the difference, where the right fights were made at the right time. That's when it works out. Other than that, man, we can't put it all on the back of just marketing, and we can't put it on the back of a YouTuber who has a huge event on Friday to say that this is what's wrong with boxing. There's a lot of things that's wrong with boxing.
You know what Jake can start off at?
Hold on, Ray. Hold on, call. Salute to my brother Ray Davis in the building in the super chat, dropping that dub on us in the super chat. He said, salute Blue and Clay. He said, salute Blue and Clay. If people miss the train on what Jake is doing with his event as a whole, then they need to circle the wagon and readjust their hate button to focus on boxing.
100%.
Agreed. Salute to Big Dog 913, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. He said, what about Tubi? Now that's what everybody be on. Tubi is different, bro.
Yeah.
Tubi's definitely different. Maybe Pro Box might level up to Tubi.
Yeah,
wow. Legacy over Currency said, Claymore Rain, what do you think about?
But I know where Jake Paul can start off at.
Wait, hold on.
I know what Jake Paul can start off at.
Legacy over Currency, Defined Mindset says, Claymore Rain, what do you think about Shakur saying that there should be only one belt, so the best would have to fight the best to earn the top position? Listen, this is a solution that moves in the direction of what we're talking about. And the boxers know this. The fighters understand this. The fighters who want legacy and who understand this system are going to speak this way, right? Making one belt. This is a confusion that Turkey Al-Sheikh is also speaking on, which is why he bought Ring Magazine, right? This is why he bought Ring Magazine. This is his goal, to have one belt to represent each division. He wants to do that. No matter how you look at it, what do I think of it? I don't know all the way. I'm not going to give you 100% of a decision as to whether or not I think that's a great idea or not. I think it's moving in the right direction, but I will speak towards what's inspiring that statement. What's inspiring that statement is the need for boxing to move back to legacy, is the need for boxing to have better matchmaking. That's why those kind of ideas are coming out in the conversation. They're coming up because fighters and people who love boxing want boxing to get back to that. So you're going to hear about, let's make one belt. for the division, so everybody's fighting towards the same goal. So people can't walk around being champions but refusing to go unify and fight with other champions and giving the fans what they want to see, which is who's actually the best. Having 4 belts out there makes it difficult to see who the best is, because everybody in their own right can say I'm the best, because they can say what? I'm a champion. And a champion should be reserved for the best. And there can only be one, as the Highlander movie said, right? There can only be one. But it's hard when everybody can walk around and have the right to call themselves a champion because some sanctioning body has put a belt around their waist. So, boxing has a lot of a rehabilitation that it needs. It has a lot of TLC that it needs, but it also has a lot of demand on the boxing fans, on the space, to come on one accord as to what is going to make this sport better. To understand that this sport becoming better has to be the priority, not just holding control of nothing. A wise man once said, I'd rather have 10%, of $100 billion than have 100% of $500. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels to this game.
Yeah.
We got to share it a little bit more. Stop trying to own it so much more, and everybody get on accord to making this sport what it needs to be, bro, which is a world sport, and make sure that it's competitive. And the only way it's really competitive is if the best is fighting the best. That's it.
Hey, yo, who did Dennis Baranchik? Who did Dennis? Oh yeah, he beat Navarrete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I ain't even. Hey, Clay, I like to try to call it straight down the middle, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I want to go look at this dude highlights, man. How he get that belt? No, I'm for real. Today, I'm talking about. I'm looking at his fights. I even went back to he did beat Navarrete, but Keyshawn champion. And I'll never do that about Keyshawn is champion. Like, if he fight him, that Keyshawn is champion. Like, real talk. That dude,
you talking about Dennis?
That dude, he had the nerve to try to do a little switch. He tried to do a switch, but he's too flat-footed.
Are you talking about Dennis
Baranchik? Yeah, I
just talking about the Ukrainian.
Yeah, today I went to go look at a couple of his fights.
He's not flat-footed, bro.
Yeah, that fake jump around he doing. Yo, no, look what he do. He'll do all that, but when he about he just go into flat. Even when he get hit, he easy to get hit. If Navarrete would have just threw punches just for the heck of it, if he would have just threw punches just for the heck of it, yo, come on, look. Soon Navarrete started doubling up on the same hand, no matter which hand he was doing up. Soon he started doubling up on it at the end of I think it was the 12th round. That's when he started hitting West Coast. I'm like, he could have been doing that early. I seen that early. Like, oh boy, like I didn't see no perfect time, like left hook, no nice uppercut. He got a good jab. I think he got a good jab, but that dude is fool. That dude, and I ain't trying to take no bump.
No, I believe Keyshawn gonna get him out of there, but Dennis is a good boxer though.
That dude is fool. Not no good boxer.
Dennis is a great.
He got
boxer.
A good one too. Clay, you seen his hooks?
Listen,
you seen his hooks? Every last one of them came for the back of the person's head.
I'm telling you.
Ain't none of them coming sharp, nothing like they loopy, everything. Even when he's fighting
he's
the people
bro. He's a good boxer, bro. I'm telling you. In my opinion, he's a good boxer. Is he better than Keyshawn? No, he's not better than Keyshawn. No. Is he undefeated? No. Yes, he is.
But keep it real. Right now, the virgin right now on Loma, I think Loma would stop him. I think Loma would stop this dude if Loma fought this dude. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because I wanted to see, I'm like, okay, Keyshawn about to be in a nice fight. I'm like, you know what? Let me go back and look at some videos of this dude. So I went back and started looking. I ain't gonna lie. I said, nah. I said, you know what? Keyshawn, he got that belt. And there ain't nothing on Keyshawn. I'm just saying, Keyshawn going, this ain't going on 12 rounds. I don't want to put no round on it, but all I know that.
About that time.
Yeah, it ain't. Keyshawn, he gonna get that belt, and I don't think even Keyshawn though. Like even though we saying, oh, Keyshawn he could fight Tank Davis, I think Keyshawn though it's too early because y'all gotta think about it. That press conference is a moral. That press conference, like dealing with a high profile fighter. Because look at David Morrell earlier. Tell me y'all didn't see tell me y'all didn't see that pressure on that boy. See, it's different talking on the outside, but when you know you gotta go in there, you and you know what I mean, like and you gotta fight this guy, and everything signed and sealed, ain't no going back. That's when we get to see the real. Because I ain't even going front. I seen y'all seen it too, but let's take for instance, David Morrell looked like he was scared, and
Are you talking about the
I'm
fight he had with Hot Rod?
No, with David Benavidez, he got going up. Did you see the press conference?
Oh, I thought you were talking about a fight that happened already. Are you talking about the next fight? You talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about the David Morrell. Yo, come on, man. We know. Come on. And I just seen David Morrell looked like he was scared to talk to David Benavidez in a certain. David Benavidez came right out like I'm beating his face and I'm breaking everything in.
No, David Morrell has a language barrier, bro.
Even then,
David Morrell has a language barrier. You know
I ain't talking about the language barrier. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the language barrier. I'm talking about even what he was saying. Even David Benavidez is like what? Look, I get it. He tried to, he do got a language barrier, and he started talking in his own language. But even David Benavidez started basically telling us what he's saying in Spanish.
I don't think there was no fear in that press conference. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think.
Okay, well look, that's why we always set an odds.
I think they want to fight. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a great fight.
Do me a favor, Clay. Do me a favor, Clay. For real.
Okay.
Just go back and look at it. Because you know the first time you look at me, I always be keyed in on stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't saying I'm no specialist or nothing, but I be looking for stuff like that anyway. You know what I mean? On both sides, not on one side, like on both. But just go back, just do me that favor. Like, you know what I mean? If you stand on what you stand, if you stand on what you saying, then you stand on it. But just do, like, if you want to, go look at it again. That's all. Just look at it again and just look at the body language.
All right, I'll take it out.
The body language, the words, and you got to remember when they told old boy to translate what he was saying. Even old boy basically was saying, he's saying a bunch of nothing. Like, not once did he disrespect what's called. He tried to piece it up. What he said.
No doubt.
He tried to piece. Like, I get it when they was face to face and he put the hands down. But you in the fire already now. You gotta stand it. You can't walk off. Like, so you gotta. You're a man, so you're gonna. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about from what I seen. I'm not gonna lie. I seen nervous energy. I tell you, no lie. I could be at 100% wrong, but this one I don't think I am.
It's okay to be a little nervous sometimes, man. Just means you're taking the moment seriously.
And it could be just his first big fight. It could be his first big fight that he's going into. Because, like Tyson said, all the way up until he basically retired, that he used to get nervous, like right before the fight. Not when he get in the ring. Is in the back room. So I get that, but I'm just saying, like, what I see. You know what I mean? Like I really see. I'm like David Morrell. I'm like, you, bruh. Like, this, I'm looking at my TV. This is the words that coming out of my mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, but I'm just saying, if you go look at it again, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't as bad as it's bad for me because, like David Benavidez said, this guy been saying my name, talking all this on me. This David Benavidez saying this in the press conference. He said, this guy been saying this about me. He like, that's why I'm gonna break his face. Like, he think he look, he ain't got nothing to say now. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, he shut him down, son. He shut him down. He shut him down with that.
But like you said, he got a language barrier, so he don't understand what he's saying.
He don't understand what he's saying when he's talking English. Wait, Carl, wait, don't just jump on it. Listen, hold on, just give it a second, right? What we're trying to say to you is he doesn't understand everything that's coming out of David Benavidez's mouth. So that experience is intimidating within itself to respond to somebody who you're not sure what exactly they're saying, right? So So on top of that, right, it's his first big event, right? The size of the event is huge. So some people just are reluctant to speak and interact in a situation that they're not gonna that they don't know that they're the best in. This is not a talking match. This is a boxing match. So I'm not gonna say nothing that's gonna make me look stupid up here. So you got the language, you know how to speak that shit. You got the crowd on your side because this is your event. So unless I really know what's going on, I'm not necessarily going to participate in that. That doesn't mean that I'm intimidated and I'm shook, that I'm going to fight you like a shook person. That just means that right now on this stage, you have more experience at doing this than I do. So I'm going to let you have it for this moment, because this is not where I'm going to sit here and try to overtalk you and do something that is not me. That's going to make me look dumb when I get exposed and get crapped on because I don't know what I'm doing up here with as far as what you're doing. But that doesn't hold any weight or precedence over the threat that he is in the ring, and how his capability or his ability to put hands on that boy David Benavidez. Period.
No, you're right. I ain't saying you wrong. I swear to God. All I'm saying is from what I've seen, and I understand he got a language barrier, but he can understand English very well. I seen him at mad fights. Like I get it, but he understands English very well.
He don't understand English well at all.
No, he don't speak English.
No, he don't understand either like that. He understands it, but not the slangs and the shit talking. If you saying something slick to me, I might not catch it.
No, he don't understand. He don't understand.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, let me tell you.
That's why I say I could be wrong. Maybe that's what it was.
When we was in Vegas, my boy Lalo was telling him, "You ducking my." We was in the bar, right? And my boy Lalo is telling him, "You ducking my boy David Benavidez," and he's like, "Yeah." And then his boy said to him, he's saying you ducking Benavidez. And then he said, wait, what? You saying I'm scared? And my boy's like, yeah, you ducking Benavidez. And he was like, what? No. What? And then his boy says, translates for him, he's saying that you ducking Benavidez. And he's like, no, he got upset. At first his body language was, yeah, because he didn't understand. So then when his boy translated to him that my boy was telling him, why you ducking David Benavidez to his face, his body language changed, and he was like, no, tell you, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Tell him to sign the contract right now. Sign the contract right now. So he does not comprehend well at all. So to English. So if you can't comprehend, like Clay is saying, you're not going to respond because you don't want to. For one, 9 times out of 10, most people that have language barriers like that, they don't want to feel like they're silly. They don't want to make themselves look like a fool, right? So you don't say nothing because you don't know how to respond. So if I go to a country that only speaks a specific language and I'm speaking English and they're saying stuff to me, I don't know. Your body language have to dictate to me what you're saying, right? So if your body language don't dictate that, in this case, Benavidez's body language is not dictating it because they're sitting down and they're apart from each other. So he can't see him. He can hear him, but he don't know what he's saying. So that's why Benavidez kept saying he don't know what he's saying. I don't know what this dude is talking about, because he was saying stuff that wasn't correlating to what the conversation was about, because he didn't understand what the conversation was about.
But Blue, you seen the press conference?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
So you seen that they was looking right at each other. He pulled his seat back. He didn't pull his seat back, but he leaned back. Like they was. I ain't even trying to make it no big thing. Like I said, I could be 100% wrong. I'm just talking about what I thought I seen. I just thought I seen that
but you got to understand.
I didn't think nervous. Like it nervousness for everybody.
No, but you got to understand, he can't respond to what I don't know what you're talking about. So by the time I respond, it's going to be late.
And something else is getting talked about, and then before you know,
so what about what about when they asked him to explain? So what about the part? All right, what about this part when they asked him to it? Because I mess with David Morrell. I mess with both of them, to be honest. But what about the time when they asked him to explain about what he said about about David Benavidez online.
The
And then
translator,
we start stumbling over the words.
the translator wasn't even properly translating. My wife don't
Right.
even watch boxing, and my wife was like, "Bro, that's
He's
not
not
what he
saying
said. He's not saying what he's saying." So the
Thank you.
translator, and that's why even Benavidez said, "Remember, Benavidez cut the
But that's
translator
what
off
he
and was
said.
like, he cut the translator off, and he was like, I said I'm gonna break his effing face." The translator wasn't trying to do that because of the space that they was in. So
Right.
he didn't want to tell him everything that was being said. So there's like Clay said, they were misfiring. They were missing each other.
Yeah.
So you know, and
That's
then
why David Morrell just hopped into his Spanish
Yeah,
bag and just
I
started going
can
off and
see it
say, "I
that
don't
way.
care
Nah,
no
I
more."
get what you're
He just
saying. Nah,
started speaking-
I'm just saying, like,
he just started speaking directly to David Benavidez, and we weren't
yeah,
even understanding
I still talk about,
what they
even
were
when they
saying.
talk about,
Yeah, he was just
yeah,
speaking. He was just speaking in Spanish because he wanted to get. Even he checked the translator at one point and stopped the translator a couple of times. Like, what? No, hey man. But he was like telling him. He was like making sure trying. So there was just a language barrier there, bro. But I don't think there was no nervous energy on that stage. Even when they did the face off, and they end up having to ultimately just laugh with each other and hug on each other like, I'm gonna see you in a fight. It was just understood that the translator wasn't doing what was supposed to be done. I don't talk English like you. You know what it is, bro. And you know we're gonna fight. And they both just smiled at each other and hugged each other and just walked off.
There was a part, right, Clay, where my
Mhm.
wife was like, he said, remember he mentioned senior?
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was like, oh, he told him that he's disrespecting his father. And
Right.
remember David Morrell was like, hold on. I never, you went at me. Like, because he
Right.
don't, it's misfiring. So he don't understand.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
no, Blue, he
Look
told
at the chair. Look,
You know, English can never understood clearly. I live in California. Mexicans use that excuse all the time when they don't like what you say. Damn it, dude. Yo, salute to the legend, bro. Salute to the Hall of Famer who kept it 100. He
Hey,
was like,
yo,
I ain't
who
gonna
you
say
got?
that. That's what they say. That's what they say when they want
Yo.
to, when they ain't trying to hear what you saying.
Who
Don't
y'all
let
got in
them
that
fool you, bro.
boat?
They know what's
Let's start
going
a
on.
fight.
Don't let them talk to you like that, bro.
Yeah,
Who
He
y'all
know
got
what
in
you're saying.
Who y'all got in that boat? Rematch?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fossil fact. Yep. They
Easy
do
way
it here
out.
in New
Yo,
York.
who y'all got in that?
They do in the
Who
bodega
y'all got in
all
that
the
boat
time.
rematch?
The bodega and the Chinese restaurant all the time in New York.
Oh yeah.
You heard
They
me?
get real. They get real like all of a sudden they never heard English before.
Never heard it a day in their life. Like, bro, give me some more duck sauce. Huh? Bro,
What?
you
Yo, who y'all got in that? Yo, who y'all got in that Fulton fight? That Fulton
I don't know.
rematch.
I think it's gonna be an interesting fight, to be honest with you,
Who?
because Stephen Fulton's last fight, I can't remember the guy who was
Fulton
fighting
and
again.
Figueroa.
Brandon Figueroa. His last fight, he seemed a little punchy. I'm gonna be honest with you. Stephen Fulton to me is going into a new
But oh boy, he's a
system of
punch.
Posey.
That's the guy that Hayes beat up.
All right, Carl, let me get it off my chest, right? So I think, let me just get off right quick.
Come on, bro, y'all got a delay,
Let
man.
me just go ahead. Let me just go ahead
No,
and say
but
hey, real
you know
quick.
I got a delay. Chill. See, look.
I got
I'm
you.
saying,
Let me-
nah, chill. All right. Go ahead.
Let me just get it off. One
Mine
time.
came in a little late. Nobody was saying nothing.
Hold on. What's up, right? So I think that
You know
Stephen
I
Fulton,
do.
no man,
I don't know.
caught up. It's hard. I get it, but we're gonna work it out, bro. Me and you, we got this. All right. So Stephen Fulton's last fight. Who was it that he fought last time? I can't remember, but it seems like that system and that program that Bozy Ennis has him in my opinion, Cool Boy is sitting in the pocket more. And even today at the press conference, he was talking about power and he was talking about fighting inside and his abilities and showing people things that they never seen before. People don't know that he can do different things. And that kind of makes me a little nervous because in his last fight, when we look at Monster Inoue, right? Obviously, we saw how that one ended. And then you see how he fought Carlo Castro. A lot of people thought he lost that fight. He got put on his pockets. He got his legs shaken up in a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, salute the Bozy Ennis. I love what he's doing with his fighters. But this year, it does look like these guys are getting punched on a little more than I'm comfortable with. Even Andy Cruz in his last fight against Antonio Moran, hands got put on him and he got buckled a little bit. Now he has that real amateur and Olympic background, that amateur Cuban style and that Olympic background to fall back on and get himself out of trouble. But Stephen Fulton with Brandon Figueroa this time around, I think Brandon Figueroa said something real interesting when he spoke about how he was able to dispatch a Carlos Castro and that this guy went 10 rounds with him and in a fight that was debatable, that some people feel like, Stephen Fulton didn't win. So I'm going to be interested in watching this fight to see Stephen Fulton get back more into his boxing. If he tries to start punching back and forth with Brandon Figueroa, I think Brandon Figueroa could stop Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton, in my opinion, I would always look at him as the better boxer, but it does look like what he's doing right now, I don't know if that really fits him. And like Bozy Ennis has kind of got this cookie cutter system, and he's taking fighters and he's putting them in the cookie cutter system. Like he's turning them into a bunch of baby Boots. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody is Boots. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what that looks like with Brandon Figueroa that night. Very interested, actually very intrigued to see what that's going to look like. But I've noticed it. I've noticed it, and I'm not ready to say he's one person that he's not yet, but I want to see what that looks like in the fight in the ring with him.
Yeah, but I disagree with you on that fight. I thought he won, even though he got clipped. I thought he won. He hurt that guy a couple of times, a couple of rounds, like not just the same round. He hurt him a couple of times in different rounds, in different parts of that fight.
No, he had moments when he punched on Carlos for sure, but he stayed inside. And I think Timothy Bradley just kind of said it as well when he said that he might be damaged goods after Inoue, that at the end of the day, I don't know if he needs to be getting punched on like that. And like I said, this Bozy system right now, and I got so much respect for those fighters out in that gym. And I know no matter what I say, somebody's going to find a way to turn this into something else. So it is what it is, right? But I'm noticing his fighters are getting hit a lot. They're getting punched on. You know what I'm saying? Even with Ishmael, I can't remember what his name was.
Boxing, man.
Fighters are staying staying inside. They're fighting these sparring type war looking fighting styles where they're staying inside. They're exchanging a whole lot. They're getting punched on. They're punching on people too as well. It's exciting to watch these fights, but is it benefiting all the fighters? Do all the fighters fit inside this cookie cutter system? I look at Stephen Fulton as somebody who's a boxer, move around, use his footwork, work from the outside, come in, come out, focus on hitting and not getting hit. That's how I look at him. When he fought Carlos Castro, he looked like a baby Boots in there to me. And I don't know if that works for him. I don't think that's who he is. You know what I mean? I don't think that's who he is now. I mean, Brandon Figueroa needs that kind of love. I think Brandon Figueroa is hoping that Stephen Fulton comes in and fights that way because he knows that's an opportunity for him. You know what I mean?
I think you're gonna box him, and then if he has to be on the inside, I think he's going to show. You know what I mean? What he's talking about, like he can fight. I don't think he's gonna come in here and go head to head with him. I think he's gonna box him, but we know that Figueroa cut the ring off. Figueroa fight southpaw and orthodox. Figueroa.
So I mean,
definitely not. Definitely not. Like, why would you fight this guy game plan? His whole, we know, all of us know, Figueroa game plan is all built on a lot of punches and moving forward. That's one thing that we do know. That Figueroa, his game plan is nowhere near on the back foot.
Right. Right. It's going to be a good fight, man. It's a fight that I'm going to be looking at on that card. I definitely want to see what version of Stephen Fulton comes in the ring that night. David Benavidez and David Morrell, I got to lean towards David Benavidez, even though I'm interested in – I just think David Morrell might be jumping in the ring with David Benavidez a little too soon. Maybe he hasn't been active enough. Maybe he hasn't had enough looks. I think he's going to come in there at a disadvantage as far as experience is concerned. But also – I'm also wondering if David Morrell is going to acknowledge where he's at, his team, and kind of push back a little bit more and have him more on his Cuban, on that amateur, on his background, tap into that boxing. But because David Benavidez is going to come in with a high a high amount of punches. He's going to have a big output, and it's going to be interesting to see David Morrell deal with that. His last fight against Hot Rod, it looks like Hot Rod was able to kind of smother a lot of that offense that David Morrell does and give him some issues. If Hot Rod was able to smother a lot of that, I think David Benavidez is going to have a way easier time smothering David Morrell's offense. And what does he do when he's not able to just be an offensive like monster, just somebody who's coming forward and causing a lot of problems? That's going to be interesting to see for him. Maybe
but David Morrell showed me something.
And
you know what I mean? David Morrell showed me something.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, like Tim Bradley says, is Steve Fulton damaged goods after that fight with Inoue, and I'm gonna say I believe he possibly is. The punishment he took in the fight, and I think his punch resistance is not there like it once was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if his punch resistance is there anymore like it once was. And can he take the punches from can he take the punches from Brandon Figueroa on a consistent basis? You know what I mean? Like he did with Brandon the first time, this time around. You know what I mean? I don't think that he can. I don't know if his punch, like you said, Clay, he got dropped in his last fight. You know what I
wouldn't say damaged goods.
We mean damaged goods in the sense of, does he have the punch resistance? You know what I mean? And so I think that's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? But let me Carl, we're gonna let you jump off, man, so me and Clay can finish up because you got to delay.
All right.
So,
and yeah, but I don't think he's damaged goods.
Don't got a wrench on your channel,
you know what I mean? But
how Timothy Bradley don't got a wrench on your channel?
He's using a different joint.
Y'all heard me? Y'all heard me?
Yeah. Salute, family. Yeah, we heard you for sure.
Y'all good night. I appreciate the time they're coming up here talking. Real talk, y'all. But I'll highlight y'all next time. All right,
no doubt, family.
All right, my boss.
Yeah. So
right,
yeah, I think the punch resistance is going to be a big issue with that first fight. He took punches from Figueroa. He was able to take them, and he was undefeated. He didn't know how to lose. You know what I mean? A lot factored in. And right now, like Tim said, right? You can't take the Philly out of a dude. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I mean? And I think that he's fell in love
with Bozy.
Yeah, fighting in the inside.
Because all that work he's doing sparring. He likes the way it feels in that gym.
Right. So I think that I don't know if he's gonna be able to take the continuous punches from and the pressure from Figueroa. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see. Very interesting.
Right. And I think is it fair to say that Brandon Figueroa has improved and Stephen Fulton may have digressed a little bit since the Monster Inoue fight? That Brandon Figueroa is actually a better fighter than who he was when he fought Stephen Fulton the first time, and that Stephen Fulton might be, I don't want to say a worse fighter, but not you know what I'm saying? Stephen Fulton is not fighting the same way he fought when he beat Brandon Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa is fighting better than what he fought like when he fought Stephen Fulton.
And Clay, in the back of his head, if he get hurt by Brandon Figueroa and Castro,
right.
You get dropped by him and hurt by him, his pressure and his resilience is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And his mindset is going to be completely different. Mm-hmm. Are you going to be able to, and like you said, he's fell into this mindset of just fighting in the pocket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he said that he got better, he got stronger. I'm going to find out.
Right, but that makes me nervous when I hear that kind of talking, because now he's doubling down. That's all I hear, that he's doubling down. And that Carlos Castro fight was not a good look. So now you're doubling down on that because now you fixed it. I like what Roski said right here, man. I think that's going to be actually, that makes the fight even more interesting. Let's see how David Benavidez adjusts, because he's right. Hot Rod was moving around, boxing, making issues for David Morrell. If David Benavidez is going to come forward like he normally does and bring that pressure, he actually serves himself up to David Morrell's to Devin Morrell's offense. That's a real good point, Roski. I like it. I mean, honest with you, that's something to think about, man. I didn't even look at it that way, bro.
Yeah, because, and that's why I said, right? Remember, I had picked Caleb Plant to beat David Benavidez because of that same situation. But Caleb Plant was outboxing him easy. Would you say the first 5 rounds?
Oh yes, 100%.
Right, and then he faded. Right. Is David Morrell going to fade? David Morrell is bigger. He's stronger than Caleb Plant.
Right.
And his conditioning, he did get tired now in the Hot Rod fight, right? But is he going to get tired in this fight?
David will find out, because David, the way David fights is going to have him working.
Right, because in the Hot Rod fight, like you said, Clay, and like Roski said, he had to look for him, right? A bit.
Right, he did. Yep.
He ain't got to look for David Benavidez. So is his stamina going to be there, or is the pressure going to make him fatigue?
Yeah, David punches straight. I think David punches a little straighter than David Morrell. David Morrell doesn't punch as straight as David Benavidez. So when they're in those that mid-range situation, David's probably going to connect before David Morrell does. Now, is the power of David Benavidez going to be there? Because I look at David Morrell as a stronger, harder punching fighter than David Benavidez. I mean, David Benavidez is a great fighter, but I just think
he's a volume puncher. Yeah, he's a volume puncher. And
right.
You know something else was alarming to me today? Is I looked at his body and I'm like, bro,
he looked fat.
Oh my goodness, Clay.
It didn't look good.
Straight up dad bod.
Yo, it was worse than a dab. I noticed it too with the hair. I was like, yo, what is this? He's gonna come into this. I think David Benavidez is gonna come into this fight bigger than he did against Vazic.
And you know, he's gonna eat for Thanksgiving fight. They don't fight till February 1st, so he ain't gonna start training camp until after Thanksgiving.
So you're picturing a potential horrible weight cut?
Horrible weight cut. Clay, you can't let yourself get that out of shape. Right? You can't, like he just looks super duper soft.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's way out. He's way out of but you know, that's once again, man. Listen, bro, I keep saying, man, this activity shit. Yo, this activity is real. Blue, like these fighters, man. Some of these fighters need to stay active to stay in the shape they're supposed to be in. When they're not active, bro, they're not all built the same way. You know, like Terrence Crawford, he's one of those fighters that I know no matter what, he's gonna stay where he's supposed to be at. No matter what. Right now, Terrence Crawford is not gonna, if he has to get ready for a fight, he's not cutting all the weight in the world. He's just cutting some weight.
Yo, he hit the nail right on the head. He had the Tyson Fury body.
100%.
Overshoot everything. Yes.
100%.
Bro, he was like, bro, his body was so, I'm like, bro, if I'm David Morrell, I'm going right to your body.
Right.
Because
this might be David Morrell's fight to win. This could be his fight to win.
Bro, and David Morrell got longer arms than he do. And he got that southpaw stance, he got the pedigree. I'm going right to your body.
Listen, bro, it's something to think about. I got to revisit the whole situation. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I got to revisit it and think about it, man. I really didn't put it all in perspective that way. You know what I mean? I still give David Benavidez the experience. I think that high volume punching is going to be, but if David Morrell's able to hurt David Benavidez early, it could change the whole trajectory of the fight. Because David Morrell, one thing he knows how to do is jump on you and finish a fight. He knows how to do that. David Benavidez can't get hurt in front of David Morrell. He know how to handle that.
That's what I'm saying.
And David Benavidez don't got that one punch power. I never seen him really have it like that. So yeah, bro, I gotta look at it, man. This might be. I want to see also what the odds is. I might put some money up, man. Give me some money. I'm gonna see what they're talking about, man. In Vegas, you know what I'm saying?
That's when I saw his body, Clay. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, and then they bring it up his amateur. I didn't think about that. Once again, this is one of those situations that can end up being like an Ishmael Majumdar fight where his amateur background is not being taken into consideration. David Benavidez don't have a huge amateur background. In many ways, somebody said earlier in the chat, David Morrell may have more experience than David Benavidez. What do you think about that?
No.
What? Let's look at the amateur background.
He has more amateur experience.
But that fights are fights. He's fighting more. He's fought more than David Benavidez.
In the amateurs?
Listen, let's take
a look.
I don't know yet. I'm gonna check.
In the pros, you got to remember, David Benavidez in the pros has fought. He's fought
better fighters for sure.
That's what I'm saying. He got his experience as a professional takes a much longer way than Morrell's amateur.
I don't know. Lomachenko's amateur career was able to translate well into the professional space. Andy Cruz's amateur career is translating well into the space. Keyshawn Davis's amateur career is translating well.
Look what Lomachenko fought. Young, talented fighters that match him in skills.
Yo, David Benavidez has no amateur background.
But look when yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see he has nothing on BoxRec. No, I don't know. This fight it can be interesting. David Morrell has 50, somewhere around 50 amateur fights. I think it's like 48 plus his professional career. And you know that the Cuban amateur background is not regular.
Yeah, that Cuban school of boxing is different for sure.
You know what I mean? He's bringing that to the table. So his ability, I don't know, man. This is going to be the more we talk about it, the more interesting this fight can become, bro. This fight is very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, all, for sure. But the experience as a professional, it's not even close. It's not even close. Bro, he fought Ronald Graville, Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andre, Olasando Gobsday, Anthony Durrell. Like, bro, it's not even close.
No, the professional experience, the professional records, the pro experience goes to David Benavidez. But David Benavidez, listen, you talked about Caleb Plant and what he brought to the table and how he was able to take advantage of David Benavidez in those early rounds. What he was able to take advantage of David Benavidez is his lack of experience as an amateur, was his boxing skills. That's what he was able to take advantage of.
No doubt. He don't got but his experience on the big level against adversity is going to take you a longer way.
But he's never been against real adversity like what David Morrell's going to give. He's never been on somebody who's really punching him out, who got that punching power. David Benavidez has been hit a lot. He's taking shots to give shots. I don't know if he wants to play that game with David Morrell.
But he fought. Look at the competition he fought. He was the underdog against Ronald Graville. He was supposed to lose. He got dropped in that fight. He was supposed to lose that fight. He bounced back. Then he got stripped of his belt. He bounced back from that. He gained the belt back. Against Anthony Durrell. Then he got stripped again. Like all of those things, and then knowing how to being down in the Ronald Graville fight, being down in the Caleb Plant fight.
Well, he's bigger than all those guys. He's bigger than all of them. He was a big dude. He's bigger than all those guys. This is not going to work with David Morrell. I don't know if those fights.
He wasn't bigger than Gobsday, and he wasn't.
Bosnick, yeah, but okay.
He wasn't bigger than Ronald Graville.
Bosnick, he went to a unanimous decision, and a lot of people. I mean, look, he went into that fight supposedly with injuries, things of that nature. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. But all I'm saying is, in the light heavyweight division, he hasn't shown the dominance. He only had one fight there, but he hasn't shown the dominance that he showed in the super middleweight division. Now, people have been throwing shots at this man for years about him being a weight bully and being the biggest dude in the division and basically being, that's why they call him the monster. He ain't no monster against David Morrell.
But Ronald Graville was bigger than him, and he was the underdog in that fight. And he was a lot younger than Ronald Graville. He was smaller than Ronald Graville.
Okay. It's going to be a great fight to watch, man.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be a great fight.
I think it's going to be fight of the year.
You think so?
Oh, man. Because I don't think neither one of their egos is going to let them go out without going out on their
This
shield.
is what I believe. I believe we're going to find out if David Benavidez has got that beard. I think that David Morrell is going to set up big shots. He's going to connect with big shots. David Benavidez is going to be tested in a way that's going to speak towards the rest of his career in the light heavyweight division, because he's either going to show improve and be who he's supposed to be, or he's going to be exposed in a way to where the rest of the division is going to be looking at him like food.
I agree. I think that this is going to do what you said about Jake Paul. It's going to solidify it.
Yup. It's a big fight for the young bull, man. A big fight for the young bull, man. David Morrell is not, and I think David Morrell don't believe him. I think David Morrell like, I don't believe you, bro. I think you don't want no parts of me, bro. I think there was a reason that we never fought at 168. I think your father knows the reason. I think your management knows the reason. And I think this fight right here was you trying to play big dog and get the fans what they want because you drinking your Kool-Aid. But I don't believe you, bro. I don't believe you. And we're gonna find out. This is gonna be a great fight, bro.
It's gonna be epic, bro. It's gonna
be a great fight.
But let's get on out of here, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Man, salute to everybody in the building, man. Salute to you, Blue, man. As usual, man. Appreciate the love. Let me.
Who you got in that fight, though?
With David Benavidez and Dave Morrell?
Yeah.
I was leaning towards David Benavidez, but I got to revisit it, man. The conversation, you know what I mean, have me thinking about a lot of stuff right now, man. The amateur, I gotta reconsider his amateur career and factor that in, because that Cuban amateur space is different than a lot of other spaces. Kind of like that.
I think they got the best amateurs in all of boxing.
Right. You know what I mean? That's a good one. That's a good reason right there. His ability, the power that David Benavidez, in my opinion, has never faced against, with the ability to deliver the power, knowing how to set up the punches with that amateur background. And also David Benavidez comes forward. He's a forward coming fighter. He doesn't really box off the back foot and, you know what I mean, hit, not get hit. And David Morrell has excelled in those scenarios his whole entire career. The one space he had issues with was against Hot Rod, and Hot Rod was moving around a lot. I don't know, man.
You know, my worries for David Benavidez is two things, right? Is that body I saw today told me that you ain't disciplined. You ain't disciplined, bro.
Yeah, he shouldn't look like that. He shouldn't look like that.
You can be out of shape, Clay, but that
he shouldn't look like that,
bro.
Yeah,
that looked different, bro. And yes, you got a 7-pound leeway from 68. But bro, come on, man.
Yeah, you shouldn't look like that. You should be more disciplined than that, man. You're not lying. You're not lying. And when I saw it, I noticed it too. I was like, damn, bro. It didn't look right. I'm like, what happened? Yeah, bro. And then we've already seen him drinking before and doing certain things. We've seen him act like this. We've seen him be so drunk, matter of fact, in an interview that people were mad at the interviewer. Were like, why are you going to interview him, make him look like that? And he had to apologize and tell the space that he still does a lot of outside activities that don't contribute to him being the best fighter he can be. And then when you see him looking like that, yeah, man. Nah, keep talking. You ain't taking none of my money. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro.
And you know another thing he said, Clay? He said, this fight is the motivation I needed, which says to me you're not motivated. He needed this opponent to motivate him. You understand what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Because the way he turned away the Jesse Hart fights, like he wanted to be, he didn't, yeah.
So which means you wasn't living a fighter's lifestyle.
Right.
And that, along with the counter punching. David Morrell, power, hand speed, and size. Like I said, like you said, he ain't bigger than him, right?
He ain't no monster to David Morrell. He ain't the monster.
No. And David Morrell is so aware, like from that school of boxing, that counter punch, Clay. Like a pull counter he don't see, because he gets lazy and squares up with his punches.
Who you talking about, David?
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
He gets lazy, he squares up.
Because he's been able to. Bad habits.
Bad habits, man.
Bad habits, bro. And this is what the argument's always going to be with me with this activity thing, because I think that's the biggest thing that I stand on, Blue, that you'll hear me bring up constantly. Activity. These fighters have so much promise, but I swear they're like different fighters every other fight because you don't know who's showing up, because you don't know what they're doing on the outside time. They get so much time to themselves. You don't know who you're going to get, bro. If the guy's been in the gym and committed to being in the gym, you might have a great fighter like Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant talk about fighting over 300 rounds. You know what I'm saying? From his last fight to that fight he had with I can't remember the dude's name right now on top of my head, but the last fight he just had. You know what I'm saying? He got hurt even. So he kept his skills up. He sat outside the ring and but he worked inside the gym. He never let go. He's very disciplined. But you got fighters like, let's say, Danny Garcia, who stayed out the ring for like 2.5 years, came in and just gave up, didn't even come out for the next round. You know what I'm saying? Just weren't committed to the sport. David Benavidez has shown history back in the day of partying a little too much, of entertaining the recreational activities. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm on record saying that move he made to Miami made me nervous. When he moved to Miami, I'm like, why would he move to that? Man popped on Sugar Booger, you know what I mean? Booger Sugar, you know what I'm saying? He popped on that. It don't get no better than Miami. It don't get no better than that, bro. Trust me, Cali ain't got nothing on Miami when it comes to that lifestyle. The bars, the nightlife, the drinking. I didn't like him being in Miami. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was going to take a lot of discipline for him to be in Miami. I gave him credit and said, okay, you got your wife, you got your kid out there. Maybe they can hold you down, give you things to do, let you be focused. But like today, when we look at him do that face-off with David Morrell, you can't help but acknowledge that body was the body of a dude who's eating a whole lot of, you know what I mean? A whole lot of carbs, enjoying the good life. You know what I mean? A lot of tacos.
Yeah, a lot of unnecessary food.
A lot of drinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that body starts looking like that. When you're looking like that, that's that sugar from all that alcohol, you know what I'm saying? And all that trying to come up off of drinking too much. How do you come off of drinking? If you get real drunk, eat as much carbs as you can get in your damn body. That's the way you battle it when you're trying to get past the hangover. And he had that dad bod. So you combine that with the hardest fight he's ever had in his, you know, the hardest fight that he's ever had, the biggest competition he's ever had in front of him, the biggest threat he's ever had in David Morrell, and also a time when he's fallen off his outside activities and his commitment to the sport. This could be the perfect timing for a huge upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's get on out of here, great brother.
No doubt, brother. Salute to everybody in the chat. I think my link is in the channel. If you ain't subscribed, show brother some love. Let's help build up my platform. I appreciate you guys. If you're ready to subscribe, salute to you guys. Thank you, Blue. Blue, we building tomorrow. What?
Yes, sir. You already know.
You
already know. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Whoa, hiccup. Hate, like, comment, and survive.
You sound like you Ciroc. It sounds like you started thinking about some Ciroc. He said, hate, love, or Ciroc. I'm like, what the? I got him in Miami mode. I'm talking about that Miami.
Yeah, all that Miami mode. Shakia Fields, peace of blessings. Jay Lynn, peace of blessings. Tyana Scott, Maya Egypt, peace of blessings, Queens.
And yo, you guys remember, stay on Jake Paul's top, man. Don't let him get away with punching on our legacy fighters,
punching
man.
Punching on the legacy.
You know what I'm saying? He got to pay the price, man. That's what we demand of him, man.
Callie World, peace of blessings, Queen. I am Amanda 73, peace of blessings, Queen. Blessings to each and every one of y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow. Make sure y'all hit the like buttons, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. We out. Peace.